Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Down to the gun, Latif takes a low snap, handoff Nelson, starts right, cuts back left, has a lane, 35-30, 25-20, left side numbers, Nelson is gone! Touchdown, Huskers! What a start! Mekhi Nelson, 38 yards to the house.
But Bouchel is blasted in the end zone for a safety. And Tyree Wilson off the edge. Snap there. Carlson swings. Carlson has it!
Second and goal. It's Singletary picking his way up the middle, and Singletary down in for the touchdown.
And Lance from the pocket gets picked off. Off the deflection, and here we go with the run back inside the 20. McMillan is in for the touchdown.
Burrow is under pressure. He's sacked. And there it is, a record that has stood nearly a quarter of a century as a new leader. As 30-year-old Myles Garrett records his NFL record 23rd sack of the year.
It is touched, and there's the horn, and the Huskers knock off Michigan State. Move over, top 10. Make room for Nebraska basketball. Make room for Daddy. 58-56, Nebraska beats Michigan State, and they storm the floor. Storm that puppy.
Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical, our new friends for 2026. What's up, DB?
I just saw those guys.
Did you?
Yeah, it was their Friday.
I need to go today, I think. I got to pick up some stuff.
I couldn't. So Wednesday was no good because they were closed.
Yeah.
And I saw them Wednesday before Christmas since we left on Friday. That seemed like a long-ass time ago.
It sure does, doesn't
Man.
it? How long were you in Vegas?
Way too long.
6 days? 5 days?
Six.
That's a long time.
I was pretty I was disappointed in myself, but
That's about 2.5 times longer than anybody needs to be in Vegas.
yeah, 100%. By Sunday, I wasn't even really coming out of my room.
Yeah.
So I made only one minor mistake. I got on the wrong bus that was actually going to Allegiant
Okay.
for the Giants game because they went right after practice. But it was just a walk over the viaduct because basically Allegiant is connected to the W.
Okay.
So it's a 7-minute walk. And there were a couple other the trainer guys, equipment guys wanted to change, and so I was like, hey, I'll walk back with you. So Shay and I walked by a sea of black and silver nut jobs. God, they closed the viaduct. They closed the overpass down, and you can just walk from Mandalay or wherever. And it was like Raider fan is there anything more stereotypical than a Raider fan?
Sounds pretty awesome.
Are they any less crazy than they were in Oakland, or is it kind of the same vibe?
Same vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, the face paint.
Got the whole thing.
What do you call the little thing that goes soul patch?
Soul patch.
Yeah, the soul patches, the sunglasses, even the ladies.
Ladies had soul patches too.
But I did see the biggest bottle of tequila in person I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their whirlpool seating in the end zone.
Yeah.
There's like tequila stations.
Really?
Oh. We were setting up.
Did you almost hop in? You're like, let's go.
We were setting up the day before, and Jess and Ben and the important people were down on the field. And we were up, and I just was practicing using my binoculars. So I handed them over to B-Mac, of course. He gave them back to me. He said, that should be close. I just started perusing because it was basically empty. And I was like, oh, my gosh. They have tequila Raiders.
Yeah.
They weren't keg. I mean, they had like 7 things of 1942. They had like 6 Clase Azules and 1. That's their tailgating tequila. So that would be like the equivalent would be like you tailgating and you grab like, a case of Yingling to tailgate. I mean, that's roughly the equivalent. I was like, what is going on?
Like, what's happening right now?
What's going on? Yeah, so I didn't eat anything good the first 3 days. I threw out my first 2 orders because I didn't eat before 8. Something was clearly wrong with me.
Yeah.
So, because every day seemed the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got up, my clock sucked, so I couldn't really sleep. And so I was up early. I mean, we're talking like 4 o'clock, 3:30.
Their
Vegas
time?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Every day.
Oof.
And so, we'll hop on the bus, go to Gorman, do the Gorman thing, not Chris.
Bishop.
Yeah. And
threw me for a second, but I was like, wait.
We'd come back, and I wouldn't be hungry. So, but I told myself, okay, grab what the players eat, and then if I get hungry, I don't have to leave my room.
Okay. It's not how it worked?
No. Hey, your boy, this is a terrible secret. I'm going to blame it on the fact they got it wrong, and I'm not going to be a snob.
Okay.
Hey, that's a secret.
That's a secret.
I said that at the dinner table yesterday, and Caleb looked at me like I was an idiot. They rolled in and out. So you got to order.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't get fries, but you could get chips or I can't remember what the other thing was. And they took all the players' orders. Then they call your name out, whatever. I was like, all right. I know In-N-Out is super overrated. That's my hot take. I said, but if I don't feel like going anywhere tonight, like I could just at least do the
you just grab the patties,
right?
yeah.
So I said, hey, double, cheese only on lettuce. She said, oh, so just protein? I said, yep, just protein. Man, they were like, order for Damon? And I had waited like 20 minutes. And the buses left as they filled.
Sure.
So, like, when the first bus was ready, like, that thing rolled.
Yeah.
So, I was ready to go. I'm telling you. Because the first 3 or 4, it was all work, which is fine. Right? I'm not going down early for a vacation. So, Jess and Brandon, those guys had everything, like, mapped out. Hey, we're doing these interviews. You got to change. I mean, it was like, we had to do stuff for Sports Nightly. So, whatever. So I was ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, and they know now, it's like, God, when this dude shuts it down, he all the way shuts it down. Like, I'm not saying anything. And I sat in the last seat. Did I send you the picture where I was sitting in the last seat of the bus?
Yeah, I made a joke.
Yeah, Rosa Benning Parks. But anyway. So she gave it to me and I looked at it and I was like, huh. And she goes, oh, their customer service is fantastic. She's like, oh, is that not right? I looked at that line. I looked at all the players. Still had to order. I was like, no, it's fine. So I got a plastic bag. And lo and behold, what player would say to me, I can't believe you're going to put that hot food in a plastic bag. All those microfibers and stuff. Like, what are you doing?
That's Christian Jones.
1,000%. That is spectacular. Shout out to you. I said, oh, God, have I missed you?
That's the easiest one you've ever given me.
Plastic contamination and chemtrails.
I was going to say, I immediately thought of the chemtrails.
Where have you been all my life? And he goes, hey, by the way, I haven't seen any chemtrails in Vegas. Might be close to Area 51. We should head on over. I said, oh, my God. Oh, my God.
As soon as you said microplastics, I was like, that's CJ. 100%.
Is there anything more Christian than that? It's just like, wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so, their assortment. So the first day, the dude that delivered the food, because they got all their food, I told you, it's an elaborate setup. And the nutritionists get all their stuff ready. The people, the first vendors were Nebraska fans.
Oh, nice.
It was, I think his last name was Young, and he had his son.
Steven?
So,
well, actually,
when I passed by the first time and I came back because I had to grab one of the coaches off the bus, which was not good, but he blew past the interview.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck.
You're like, hey, bud.
Do I go get him off the bus?
Hey, I think you forgot.
So anyway, dudes were like, he's like, DB?
Yeah.
I looked over my shoulder. I was like, yeah, what's up? He goes, oh my God, we listened to the pod. He goes, and he introduced his son, and he's like, what's up? I was like, oh man, you guys listen? And I looked at him. I said, well, if you do, then this is out of the ordinary for me, because I looked like a chicken. with my head cut off.
It's kind of like, what's going on?
Well, and Brandon, he was like following me so we could be mobile.
Yeah.
Like he had the handheld, and so I had to go back and forth like 3 times. Change it was a total debacle. But the food was such high quality.
Yeah.
Outside of In-N-Out.
Well, yeah, In-N-Out. I'm not an In-N-Out guy.
But like you eat now.
Yeah.
So, which might be part of the problem. They're gonna have to revamp. I don't know. They're taking a look at everything from top down. So I'll be curious to see.
Did you have a sense that it was going to go that way?
No. So I said 31-20.
Okay.
It's a 31. What was the final?
44-22.
44-22.
I believe.
Yeah, I said 31-20.
So you thought 2-score win for Utah?
Yeah. But I said, I told Kyle, I was like, man, I said if I was a gambling man, like I'd take, which I notoriously am.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably I'd take Nebraska in the points.
Yeah, the 14 seemed like a lot.
Yeah.
Especially, and it obviously did not matter. But like, I did think the coaching situation was super weird.
So, there's a couple of things I would tinker with.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know enough to know like if that's how they want to do bowl prep
for Nebraska.
Yeah. But there's a couple of things I would probably like gave me pause, but I wasn't shook.
On like how things were operating.
Yeah, because I listened to a lot of other coaches,
Mm-hmm.
and I know he's a total unicorn, but the methodology isn't. So I listen to him all the time, and I know you hate. Like, what'd you say in the group text? I sent you something. You're like, I don't know. I just have an irrational hate for that guy or something like that.
Yeah, probably. That sounds like me.
So I listen to a lot of what Cignetti says.
Oh no, what I said was, I can't put my finger on why I don't like him because I agree with almost everything he says.
Yeah. So it just so happens on social media, like the clip that we watched to start the playoffs when Doc Whitman came to talk to Westside.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about maxing out and kind of the philosophy. And he played a clip and he's like, hey, some of you might recognize this guy. And it was Cignetti. And I told you it was way back when he was at Indiana, Wooey, Fort Wayne, Bowie, Union, Lafayette, like wherever he was.
Elon.
And I said to you on the show 2 months ago, I go, the crazy thing?
He's always sounded like this.
He said the exact same thing that he said the other day after they won.
Which I appreciate the consistency. I do.
And so like there's some things in there that we had this huge retreat yesterday for the coaching staff, and it's like at the at 118 building for the high school, and I mean a lot of the processes and stuff that we talk about trying to elevate are very, 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 very similar
to Cignetti.
Yeah. So there's things that I'm like, I would tinker with some things, but I'm certainly not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
You want me to give Cignetti a compliment?
Yeah, you can.
So one of the things
I don't. So if you're going to give me the Indiana comparison, I think we should start with taking away what the methodology is. I don't think it's apples to apples
for sure
with the job.
So the thing that I appreciate about Cignetti is I have a soft spot for people. Clearly, he has a conviction in himself and the way he does things at a level that most people do not. A, I appreciate that.
It's unwavering.
And B, I appreciate a consistency of message, especially when you're like on the way up and it sounds crazy. Right? Like I appreciate.
So you think he was ahead of his irrational confidence?
I think so. I think this is probably why I don't like him. He's probably got a little bit too much of me in him, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't like you either.
I know, right? So like I get it.
Ravi?
There's this part of me that's like my confidence often outweighs where I'm currently at, but it's like, oh, I'm gonna get there.
How much stock do you put in the fact that he had almost 40 years in his three-headed monster they took with him?
I mean, that matters a lot, right?
Because we've seen coaches try that and it didn't work.
So that's the thing, is you have to be right about those guys.
Yeah.
That's the secret sauce, right? Because you can have, I mean, listen, you can bring everybody you want with you. If they're not any good at coaching, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I get you.
Right?
Yeah.
And like that's sort of the thing I know a lot of people have been weighing with Coach Rhule and some of the staff changes. They're like, well, he keeps changing the staff. It's like,
So-
and if he didn't change the staff, you'd be mad about that.
I'm just telling you, like, that's
It's tough.
That's kind of a misnomer because I agree. And it happens, I guess, for different reasons. Some guys get their staffs pillaged. Some have to get rid of them. Some it didn't work. But I do think, on average, it takes 3 or 4 years to get your staff right.
Sure.
And sometimes it can be painful.
Yeah. Who did you say you were talking to that said that?
I don't want to give him up, but he is
okay.
he coaches in the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah.
He is a head coach in the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah, because you must have told me that off air. That you were talking to somebody that's like, yeah, it probably takes 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, he said, he goes, and he's very dry.
Mm-hmm.
Like his reputation is very dry. So when he offered it, because we were talking about another coach on his staff. So when he offered it, he said, yeah, your fan base will probably losing their mind, but he's not wrong.
Mm.
And I felt like, okay, I get, because, I mean, a lot of coaches say, even Coach Samanji said that, because he turned his staff over early in his career.
Yeah.
And, Nick Saban turned his staff over early in his. Did you watch Bill and Bill?
So that's what I was thinking of. Belichick. That's the one I was thinking of because he was like, it probably takes about 4 years.
He said
somebody in the chat brought that up.
So,
yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. That's the one we had talked about on air.
Vector, that is correct.
But I also think it's a sort of a strange.
You see what he said?
Yeah,
that's what it was.
That makes sense. I also think it's sort of a strange situation where, unlike a lot of these college coaches, like Rhule was coming from a very different situation from the NFL, getting fired in the NFL and then coming back to college.
Yeah.
Like it's harder to have staff continuity in that context. So you're kind of trying to piece things together with people you know and people you trust as you figure out the new place. But again, I said this on post-game show.
Is that why you asked me what I was doing? What did you want me to do?
I was going to ask you to do pregame.
Oh, did it fit? Did I send you the schedule?
Yeah, but not till later. It was okay, though.
Yeah.
It was a shortened show, and MRI did it for us, so we were all right.
Yeah, he's interesting.
Yeah, but we did. I was talking about this on the postgame show. It's like, listen, I understand. Like nobody's happy about giving up 120 points in the last 3 games, right? Mm-hmm. Also, the person most responsible for that got fired.
Yeah,
the 2 people probably most responsible for that got fired. So it's like, what? Like I get it, still sucks to have to watch it.
But I do want to say this. I think it's important. Okay. That ultimately is Coach Rhule's. That's his responsibility.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because
fair enough.
Now so it's 2 things can be true at once. He can't change it right now, like he's watching it unfold.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it snuck up on him.
Sure.
Like he's watching this
kind of devolve.
Or devolve. That's a better word.
Yeah. Sort of like disintegrate in front of his eyes.
Yeah, this ain't good. But I think he saw it early too.
So
I think you were hoping for the best.
So I was hoping for the best. Do you know the thing that like this is gonna sound?
So he's got to own that.
This is gonna sound a little crazy. Yeah, I mean he made the wrong hire mid last offseason. Like that's just full stop. That's it.
He's got to own
right. So that's on him. But the weird thing as I'm watching that game, and because there was a part of me that thought and I said this, if they're able to get this and look that dramatically better against a very bad matchup, by the way, for what they've been bad at this year, and look dramatically better defensively in 4 weeks, just with a guy that makes their life simpler, I'm going to be pretty pissed.
Yeah.
So like there was a little bit of me that was relieved that it was actually a bigger problem than just, hey, make it simpler, stupid. Like, I know that sounds super weird because you obviously don't want to. I wanted Nebraska to win. I thought they could win. Mm-hmm. And you obviously don't want to see anybody score 44 points on them. But there was a part of me that was relieved that it wasn't that simple of a fix.
Yeah.
Because I would have been furious it didn't get fixed earlier.
Yeah, I thought he said something interesting before the bowl game that I don't think should fall on deaf ears. When he talked about, the injuries at the end of the season,
mm-hmm.
and he said, we've got to take a look at everything, nutrition, strength and conditioning, how we practice, the day-to-day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that lets me know that some of the things that give me a little pause at least will be addressed.
So you're like, I'm not sure if I do it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you never know if you're right.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm just irrational enough to think like, I'd probably do it like this.
Sure.
Right. Because I think I don't know if most people would. Bowl game practices are different.
Okay.
So number one, and this is total hindsight, I probably would start with the days off. I think were not right. The amount of days they took off before Christmas.
Gotcha.
Like I'd start right there. Like that's right. Because when Caleb told me like 4 days, I was like, it seems like a long time.
Seems like a long time.
But I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and then
was he trying to let guys get home?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it's hard. That's hard to do and spend any time at home if you have to take a flight.
So one of the things that I'm curious, I'm dying to see it. He's such a player, like for the players, like concern. I wonder if he'll not be as much.
I mean, there's certain things you have to sacrifice.
Well, it starts with the non-negotiables.
If you're gonna be the type of team you want to be.
Yep.
Like you can be as accommodating as you want to be.
I mean, he clearly cares a ton, right?
Yeah.
It was a lot of it was the growth and the experience, and I think now it's okay. That was cool.
Now we got to do it.
Now we're doing it this way.
Yeah. Now we got to.
And that's what I could see, because he's got enough FU in him.
Yeah.
Where I could see that happening, because I think this is what I think. I think we're gonna see a transition where he's gonna be a lot more effort.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I could, because you could see it kind of creeping in towards in the off or towards the end after the Iowa game. I think that part of his personality, because I think he fights it.
Sure.
Right? Like I watch him how he talks to his kids sometimes. It's out of love. But very, and I think we'll see more of that with the guys. But sometimes, players are so I mean, look at the portal.
Yeah.
Like, how you have 4,200 guys in the portal? Like, what are you going to do with 4,200 people in the portal?
Most of them aren't going to go where they think they're going to go. A lot of them.
What are you going to do with 4,200 players in the portal?
Nothing.
So they're clearly temperamental.
Yeah.
Right? I think you almost have – I think it's almost come full circle from a coaching standpoint where –
well, can we talk about the elephant in the room?
You just have to have
that?
non-negotiables.
Like, the elephant in the room with that is they could not have – correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm speaking out of turn here.
If I know.
Yeah, you may or may not. I don't think any program could possibly have been more accommodating of any player than Nebraska was of Dylan Raiola, and it still didn't matter.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
So at a certain point, you just say, well, if that doesn't work, I'm just going to do it my way.
Yeah, and you heard him say things like, the portal giveth and the portal taketh away.
Yeah.
Like
you heard it start to creep in a little.
He was very indiscriminate about comings and goings.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, who wants to be here is going to be here.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that at all.
And the funny thing about the portal.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know like some people tagged me because I obviously have I've been very public about how much I like Keona Davis, right? And so some people tag me. They're like, is Ravi okay, whatever. There's literally not a single guy on this roster for Nebraska that I'm like, oh, you can't lose him. There's guys I like, right? There's guys I think are going to be really good. Keona Davis is one of them. But there's literally not a single guy on the roster that I'd be like, oh, irreplaceable.
Yeah, so I think there's probably only one.
Okay.
And it would surprise the heck out of you. Where I would be like, damn.
Like, that sucks.
That can't happen. Only one that I can think of.
Can you give me a position group?
Nope. Because if I do, you'll know.
I had a weird name pop in my head, so I'll just go with it. I was just going to say Justin Evans.
No.
Okay.
Can't lose him.
Can't lose him.
Shane got a stab?
Nah.
Happy holidays.
Fernando?
No, but boy, I peg him. Shout out DB. Even though he tries me up the wall.
The post games or something else.
It's got to be a bit, right?
I don't think so.
I think it's a bit.
And sometimes it can be painful.
Give it to me. Who is it?
Defense.
I'm not telling you.
I'll
give you 2 cracks at it.
Okay. Well, I had one.
I'll give you 2 more.
Okay.
What am I at? $80?
I'm not betting on this if you don't give me a little bit of guidance here. It's a big roster.
Only one.
Not related to you?
Oh, I got to tell you about him.
Okay. Only one guy on the entire roster. I'm thinking
If Caleb said I was going, first of all, tampering's. I'm not even getting into it. I'm not even getting into it. Immediately after that, dude, it's crooked. It's so crooked.
Barney.
Incorrect.
Okay. That was from the chat. I didn't have a good guess. Let me see here. I don't feel like I'm right on the offensive line. Maybe I am. I'm going to throw out, because there's nobody, I can't think of anybody on the defensive line that I think that about. My last 2 guesses are either RVP or Pritchett.
Give me one. You sucked the whole morning so far, so.
I'm going to go, I think Pritchett's important.
Correct.
Okay.
It's Pritchett.
Okay. That is the guy that I would be bummed about.
He's just getting really good.
Yeah.
And I think he will flourish with Wade.
With Jeep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is one where you want the proof of concept with a high-level guy.
And he stayed the course. He
kind of went through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It's Pritchett. That would be the one guy where I'd be like, fudge.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the roster is kind of what it is. And there's a ton of guys I like on that roster that I think are going to be really good, but most of those guys have not shown that they can contribute to super high-level winning football in a way that I think is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you.
When I look at this roster and it's like, yes, I am bummed that Keona Davis is in the portal because I think his best football is ahead of him. He also had 1.5 sacks in 25 career games, right? So I'm not sitting here. If I'm going to sit here last year and be like, yeah, I mean, it sucks that Jamari Butler's gone, but the production wasn't.
So what they need to figure out is why so many guys are sometimey. Like if I was going to compile a list of top 3 things to attack, why are some of my guys so situationally dependent on their performance? They're too moody. Why?
On their performance or on their effort?
Well, they're one and the same.
Okay.
Like sometimes you watch Wanari, who I love. I'm actually developing a fan. I love Wanari. Now he would be he's a challenge to coach, but it's in there.
Yeah.
So you know me, I'm like,
I'll find it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So that's number 1. Like why sometimes like super violent, getting up blocks. So I have to look at rigor. Like, are they really doing hard things every day? Then one of the other things is how does it go south so fast?
Fair question.
Like, why when the wheels wobble do they come all the way off?
Yeah, you don't just get a flat tire; the entire axle falls off.
It's like the thing just skids. That's
off the road in a hurry.
That's number 2. What do you think number 3 is?
Why so sometimey? Why does it go south so fast? I don't know.
You have to find a true alpha.
Okay.
A true alpha. Because, I mean, if you want a dirty little secret, for as talented as people think we were, and we were,
yeah,
it wasn't always smooth sailing.
Sure.
So somebody had to sturdy that bad boy.
Yeah, somebody got to take the wheel.
Yep. You need a cut stopper.
Mm.
You have to find a cut stopper.
Yeah.
Like, because you're going to bleed a little bit. You want that guy in the corner, man, that can give you the right amount of salve, can get that in swell rolling.
Yep.
You know, you need a cut stopper.
Mm.
Now, they're all kind of connected, but those are the three things that I would attack.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break here. We've got Bill Bender coming up next. Going to talk a little college football playoff with Bill Bender from the Sporting News. That's
He's
DB.
so early. He must have a show.
He's got stuff going on today, apparently.
Yeah, because we got to get back in the bowl game.
We'll get back into bowl game. We'll get back into transfer portal. We'll get back into all of that. That's DBM Ravi Lulla. Get started at Sports Live.
Listen, we got out-rebounded by 14. I thought we did a hell of a job in that first half where you really needed to go out and set the tone. I think they had 2 at halftime, and I thought our transition defense was exceptional, and we never took the wrong path chasing down a rebound that we couldn't get. This is the best defensive rebounding team in the country, and we were dead if we were going to chase balls down. So, I thought our guys really followed the game plan. And those were the keys. We had 2 of them tonight. It was get back and rebound, and I said it about 1,000 times in the last 3 days. Not very often are you going to win a game when you shoot under 25% in the second half against a top 10 team. But I thought our activity on the defensive end, 19 turnovers is what we forced. They take really good care of the basketball. And that was the difference, was finding a way to manufacture some points. Price unfortunately got in foul trouble. We hung in there without him, and we're even at the break. We felt pretty good about that. And then he picks up his 4th with about 10 to go. And again, we hung in there, but knew they would make a run. We got up 9. Talked to Braden about the incident. That can't happen.
Yeah, our guys it's all mental. Our guys just bought in a little bit more to the pace that we want to wrestle and just confidence in their attacks. I think, this game is, man, it's a mental game when you get out there and, it's like Harley Anders right at the end, He ended up getting a major, which was really great, but you just, you sometimes you just need to be able to hit a move or get a little break where it opens up some leeway where hey, I'm confident in this, And so just to see them a little bit more confident in their attacks was really good. We've spent a ton of time on it, and it was good to see. I think Alan Kaler, man, just little details from winning that match. That kid's a round of 12 guy, and he's been around a 12 guy a couple times, I think.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Jackson. Hit. Falls forward with the ball and into the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State.
They're thinking touchdown.
No more timeouts to work with. So they're looking to throw. And Mendoza flips it. Easy pitch and catch. There's Omar Cooper Jr. And Indiana stretches the lead before halftime. What a show by the Hoosiers in the first 30.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Bill Bender from the Sporting News. We're going to talk a little college football with Bill this morning. Bill, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Well, how about? I don't even know where to start. You're a bowl game guy. We've talked about this. You like football. You like college football. You're watching bowl games. You felt like at the end of the day, just generally speaking, before we get into the nuts and bolts, you feel like the committee got it right?
With the exception of Notre Dame.
Okay.
And you could say Alabama validated it by beating Oklahoma, but I mean, I couldn't help but watch that Rose Bowl and think, this might have been a little tighter if Notre Dame was out there. And that's my, I guess, hot take. I don't disparage Alabama in any way. I
didn't think they should be in, so I agree with you. I was out on Bama.
Yeah, the stunning part for me was when you watched that game unfold, you thought they don't really look like they belong on the same field with Indiana. I guess that was the most jarring part.
Yeah, I mean, that is outside of just the names of it, right, which is jarring in its own right to see Indiana beat Alabama in football 38-3. It did seem like there was a clear gap between those two teams. You said you thought Notre Dame may have held up a little bit better. Is that the only issue you've had? I know you said with the teams that were in. Is that the only time you've seen, though, where you're like, hey, this team probably not on the same field as because I sort of thought that with Oregon and Texas Tech as well.
Yeah, I agree. And that was, but Texas Tech earned their way in. I
Absolutely.
didn't think Texas Tech would lose 23-0 and not get any offense going and all of those things. And, one of the things that I keep saying, and I don't know if people are listening or not, is it's almost like I saw this phrase a lot over last weekend. It's a tournament now.
Mm-hmm.
And it really does feel like the NCAA tournament. I mean, here in Central Ohio, I would say, kind of threw this out here today, and I don't know if it's a popular take or not, but Ohio State losing is kind of like when Duke or North Carolina loses in the tournament. You know what I mean? It feels like everything opens up a little bit. And if you look, the average seed of the teams remaining in the tournament is 5.5. So
what if we got the seedings wrong, though, Bill?
Did we?
Let
me go ahead. Tell me about what you think about the rest versus Russ thing.
So,
that's what I want to hear.
Okay, so rest versus Russ is a real thing. I think in football, anything more than 2 weeks, you're in big trouble. I've lived it. I know rigor. Especially in college, you need to be playing. 1 week off is totally fine. A month, you're in big trouble. The other thing is, I'll just start with Miami because I think they're the easy one, but I've been on this, so I'll ask you. I said, anytime a team takes the field and you can make the case that they have not only the best defensive, but the best offensive player on the field, they probably shouldn't be a 10 seed. That was my hot take going into this deal.
I ignored all the Miami was going to win. I really did. I thought, Ohio State's got All-Americans on every level. How are they going to defend the downfield passing game? It looked like
that secondary was healthy, though, finally.
It was. And it looked like that program was cashing in a 23-year receipt. And I know all about Miami's rivalries with Nebraska and Oklahoma when I was growing up. It felt like they took it out on Ohio State like that. That they hadn't forgot a BCS championship game from 23 years ago. They played better. Ruben Bain was the best player on the field. If he wasn't, then it was Messidor. If he wasn't, it was their secondary. You said it best. One thing, not to backtrack, but here's one question I have for you as a former player. At what point, how much different is it for a college kid to have that layoff than, say, whoever sat out week 18 in the NFL this week? I think the difference is those guys are professionals and they need that rest. Versus college, you're doing other things. It's a different ballgame.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. It's about rigor. So, as a professional, when you do it every day, your body you get to a certain point, your body, it needs its rest. And I get it. College does too. I just think a month is entirely too long. 2 weeks of not playing is tough. Like, you really have to practice a certain way. And I've seen it in the pros, right? Even before I got cut, where you would do the same 50 plays, a variation of the same 50 over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like, pros have no problems getting bored. When collegiate people are bored, they find other things to do. And I think that's the fundamental difference, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it shows in these games. Like, we can say, oh, it's a small sample size, but it's 1 and 7, and all of those teams struggled to get out. Even Indiana, to some extent, struggled to get out of the gate. The first couple series, it didn't, and those other teams had a game under their belt. So, the solution is easy to me. It's we start this thing sooner. We do the first 2 rounds on campus, especially if we go to 16. And we try to like Dan Lanning kind of outlined what I believe in. Like, maybe not January 1st, but maybe get this thing over. Like, this week that we're doing right now would be a perfect week to do the championship game.
Yeah. Okay, so let me back up a little bit. If you're looking at actual coaching, whether it's to the good or to the bad, who was the most out of character for you?
Ooh, that's a good. Well, Kirby was.
So he's been historically good, and you thought he's really bad.
Well, he panicked a little bit, and the reason why he panicked was Trinidad Chambliss got hot. It was like I can't remember which announcer it was. It might have been McElroy made an NBA Jam reference.
Yeah.
Chambliss heated up a little bit, and I think that went into the decision to run a fake punt, and then on the next,
his secondary was decimated too, boy. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, and Trinidad played great. So, not because I'm not saying Kirby Smart's a bad coach. I just think he had a couple decisions which he owned up to later. Brian Day didn't have the best night either. Especially in the first half. That game really turned on the pick six. Where they jump a wide receiver screen. So, but those guys are proven coaches. I can only go so far in my criticism of either one of them.
How about Cristobal to the good?
Oh, yeah, they were ready. Like I said, the physical nature which they played. And impressed with how they, I don't want to say managed Carson Beck, but
that's the thing.
The way that he pushed the ball down the field when he took a couple sacks that I was like, that's actually a smart play.
Yeah.
But instead of throwing a bad and getting a turnover, he played very well. Despite, you look at his box score and you'd be like, what are you talking about? But I think he played very smart in that game. They ran the ball. They were the more physical team. You said it. Their secondary was laying some hits that it was like, oh no. I said they're putting some guys on their butts, and the hitting in that game was very real. I don't think Ohio State's defense played bad. They couldn't get off the field on that last drive, but I don't look at that and be like it's their fault. It wasn't.
And you chuckled at me in the beginning of this season, and I want to go back to it because I tried to give it context. I was talking about Jeremiah Smith, and I said, there's all this talk that, he could play in the pros, and this year, and I'm like, I don't know, guys. Like, I love Jeremiah Smith, but I do think he comes with some caution in terms of projecting him to the next level as a big-bodied, kind of non-traditional route running wide receiver. Did you feel like it was more on Ohio State? Do you look at Jeremiah Smith differently? Is Jeremiah Smith still Jeremiah Smith? Do you credit Miami? Because sometimes against elite competition, I don't know, Bill. Like, maybe I'm just seeing what I want to see to be right.
I'll meet you halfway. I mean, as far as NFL projections, who knows?
I thought the
big
talk
body
was
receivers-
way too fast over his prowess.
That's fair. I mean, but I would say he was an automatic target for Julian Sayin all season. He was their best offensive player in that game. There's no question there. I think their struggles on the offensive line were magnified in this game, and Julian Sayin's going to take a little criticism.
Yeah,
he had
he
a really
is.
good year, but I mean, they got after him a little bit, and Ruben Bain and Messidor sped him up. Now, I'm curious to see how this goes with as far as Jeremiah Smith. There hasn't been a receiver taken number 1 since Keyshawn. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And so if we're talking about that, I get what you're saying. I still think he'll have a very successful NFL career because I trust the Ohio State receivers I see at the next level. I mean, JSN has been unbelievable for Seattle this year.
Olave
So-
pre-injury was starting to come on.
You know what's kind of funny, Bill, is that's sort of why I've pumped the brakes on Jeremiah Smith. I was like,
Because
they
all
sort of
the-
just pump one of these out every year, or 2 or 3 of these out. Like, I
And
wasn't.
this isn't I'm not
No,
trying to hammer
listen,
it. I'm just saying
Jeremiah Smith
it's impossible for him to meet the expectations.
Jeremiah Smith is just as good, in my opinion, as all of those guys. I don't know what his NFL career looks like, but I was like, I wasn't 100% convinced Igbuka wasn't the best receiver on the team last year.
I agree.
Yeah,
And he's obviously really, really good. So it's like he's the next great Ohio State receiver. I get that. It seemed like people were trying to put him above everybody else, and I was like, that feels premature.
That's fair. And, we'll see where they go from here. I know the Brian Hartline leaving and Ryan Day calling plays, that all got a lot of pub, obviously, during the game and after. But I just think Miami outplayed them, kind of how I feel about Ole Miss. And then it sets up this week where Indiana, both of these games are tough for me to predict, honestly. I think Indiana should win, but rematches are tricky, and Oregon played really good defense in their matchup. And then, I mean, my instinct is to pick Miami, but if Trinidad Chambliss goes off again and kind of takes over a game, and I can't predict how the coaching stuff works with guys coming back and forth. I think that's the biggest story of the playoffs to me. Let these coaches finish the playoffs. Please. Fix this calendar, please, so they're not trying to do 2 jobs at once. That's too hard to do.
I just wish they would move the portal date to May. Like,
I'll say it's a super easy fix, Bill.
I don't know why that's so difficult.
Well, not just that. I think you fix everything with 2 changes. You move signing day back to February, because that's why the coaching thing got sped up. It's because the signing day is in December.
And now it's even more fast forward because the portal being open in January.
And then you move portal to May, so you still honor the academic calendar, because those are the only 2 places you can put it are pre-spring semester or post-spring semester, right? So you move portal to May, you move signing it to February. Most of this resolves if that happens, right, Bill?
Yeah, I agree with that. And here's the analogy I always use. It would be like, imagine if NFL free agency opened today.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be pretty dumb.
That'd be bad.
That'd be pretty dumb.
And it'd be like, hey, Green Bay won't have Christian Watson this week because he opted out of the wild card game against. It's absurd. Like, even trying to finish that sentence is absurd. So, and you're kind of, as a writer, you're equal parts covering portal and games this week. And I just, please, and your fix is so easy. Move it to May. Then you make your final decision. You can finish your school year. Move the signing day up to August. Let these kids finish their high school career without having to make that decision. Move the regular season up. All of these things. And college football can't just sit there and wait, because the more times we do this, Lane Kiffin's kind of the poster child for it, and it's easy to make him that. But what if this was, what if Penn State were in the playoff or something? You know what I mean? And we're doing this with James Franklin. It's the same thing.
Bill, I think we got to get you out by 7:50. Shane is producing his brains out over here. Let me get you out of here on this.
I got time for a couple more.
Okay.
You guys wanna go for,
all right. Here we go. So then I'll go backwards. Of the guys that are I'm just going to ask you, when you start with Cignetti, do you start with the methodology or the talent evaluation, or are they the same for you?
I can't explain it, but I can't doubt him anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you can't doubt what he's doing, his methods, the just attention to detail. I saw a couple articles and tweets that, yeah, they do have a lot of veteran players. And Michigan had a lot of veteran players a couple years ago. So is it that? Is it? I just think they run the ball in relentless fashion. Their defense is amazing. He's a really detailed coach. I had a coach tell me a couple years ago that you're not going to beat – the only way you're going to beat Curt Cignetti, and I thought at the time, whatever, but you're not going to beat him on scheme. You will beat him because you just have more talent.
Better players.
And that kind of better – you just have better players, and he can't beat that. And right now they've got the players to match the scheme. And Fernando's playing great, and it was just thoroughly impressive. Now, like I said, when they get into this game with Oregon, I don't know if Oregon's players are far and away better than them, but I think there's not a talent gap. Yeah. So it is definitely – and Dan Lanning, he hasn't seen a fourth down he doesn't like.
Yeah, I think 4 is too many. I'll take the Ducks all day long. I get it, the physicality, and Oregon gives me the willies sometimes with how many points they leave on the field, but I think 4 is too many.
Yeah, and that one was tough to pick. And I think Dan Lanning and that it really comes down to I think both teams will struggle to run the football. So it's going to come down to Dante and Fernando. And Dante's a really good player. That defense for Oregon really got after it.
That secondary is for real.
Finney's a dog, isn't he?
Yeah, and I like him at the safety spot too, because they're not electric athletically, but man, do they get to where they need to be. Like, and he's just redshirt freshman. Like, they needed that back end to come into play. And I get it. They don't jump off the screen twitchiness. They don't miss, though. They get you down to the ground.
They do. And I think, one of the things with Oregon is, like you said, the points off the board. That can't happen here. They were playing nice in their press conference, making each other laugh the other day, but I think that's a matter of respect. Yeah. And here's the thing. I'll run this by you guys, and a lot gets made off the bull metrics of, is this conference better than this conference, blah, blah, blah. The Big Ten had a very good bowl season, and the healthiest thing for this conference would be if they had a third different school win a national title in 3 years. I'd put this stat out there a little bit. The last school to win the Big Ten or national title for the Big Ten as a member of the Big Ten that wasn't Ohio State or Michigan was Michigan State in 1965.
Goodness.
That's 60 years ago. So if you want to shed this Big 2, little 10, Big 2, little 16 now, which this is where we live in. If Oregon or Indiana were to win the Big Ten, then you combine it with the coaching ads. I love Matt Campbell to Penn State. I really like Kyle Whittingham to Michigan. I don't know how long he'll stay, but it's coaches, it's players, it's organizations, it's a mini NFL, coast to coast, and that would be huge.
All right, real quick, Bill, we'll let you out of here on this. Since you kind of brought it up a little bit, I feel like I'm going to ask this. Is it a coincidence in your mind, or is it an indication of something bigger, that now that players can legally be paid, the SEC dominance seems to have eroded a bit?
I think it's a factor because, we can make jokes about how they got those players in the past and was it under the table and all that. And I don't do that, but I just think the Big Ten universities I'm talking about are organized. It doesn't surprise me that Notre Dame's crushing in the NIL era. They have a lot of money behind Marcus and what he's doing. And I do think the coaches matter and the NFL talent matters. And, like I said, that top half of the Big Ten, you could lock off a couple schools off the Big Ten. And if you were the old Big Ten, or, you throw Nebraska in there and a couple others that are trying to push up, like Wisconsin, it's a loaded conference, guys. Yeah. And the Bulls season showed that. I mean, Iowa put it on. I was laughing at some of my editors that thought Vandy was going to run Iowa off the field. And I said, well, you clearly haven't watched this Iowa defense. This is what they do. They frustrate you. They've been doing it since like 1985. So, yeah, and I honestly thought you were going to ask me if it hurts my journalistic integrity if I pick the Packers to beat the Bears on Saturday.
Interesting. I think they're favored, so that's all you need to know.
That is my Super Bowl as a Packers fan. I cannot believe I'm saying that.
All right, buddy. I appreciate your time.
That's our guy, Bill Bender. Bill, appreciate it. As always, we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, B.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for me on.
That is Bill Bender from the Sporting News.
Hey, listen, I had to bring my guy Verz.
Yeah.
I asked him yesterday how he thought about the Bears being in the playoffs. He said they still lose to the sorry Lions. But I got to cheer for the Bears just for my man.
Yep.
I'm going to check back and see if he will ever like Caleb Williams, even though he told me no. And, my man Mike T, still blowing kisses. What a circus.
Hey, what'd you say at the beginning of the year?
Division champs, shock the world.
Division champs.
Let's go.
Shock the world. Sam McKEWON coming up next here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be right back.
Yeah, there's a ton of work that has to be done. And I think that work for us is and we began it long ago, right? I think in terms of like looking at the off season, looking at the Big Ten schedule, looking at the travel, we coming down the stretch of the year, we're pretty beat up. So how can we do things better? How can we do things differently? From sports science to medicine to strength training, we've been studying everything. And so, obviously the last 3 games make it hard to say a lot of things, but as I said to the guys, Henry Lutoski said in the press conference yesterday, get to back-to-back bowl games. That is an accomplishment. I don't want to forget that for them. But to get over the hump, we have a lot to do. And so, we're going to attack it, and we're going to be unbelievably persistent at it. And like I said, they're a great model, right? They were 4-8 last year, and that quarterback was on another roster, and he came in, and he's been a lightning rod for them. And now they're going to have to deal with the portal now too, So all of us have to deal with all that. So, but Pat Stewart, Keith Williams, Logan Holgerson, those guys, I think we're in really good position in terms of what we'll do in terms of personnel.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty active on post D, and so our guards were maybe not quite as deceptive as they needed to be with post feeds, but I think also it's kind of a dual problem. Every time we have a stolen pass into the post, we ask our team, was it a bad pass or was it a bad catch? And most of the time, the answer collectively from our whole entire roster is it was both. I think we just have to get a little bit better, more active with our post feet to be able to meet passes and go pass. If your guard trusts you to throw you the ball in there, you've got to go catch it. And then guards, can we do a better job of being a little more deceptive? And but I thought that it was a lot of it was post feeding turnovers that I think we can clean up.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Rode Nelson out of bounds. First and goal from the 8, out of the gun. Latif single back right. Barney, the motion man, gets the jet sweep toss from left to right. Angles to the outside 5. Revs the engine. Turns the corner. Touchdown, Huskers. The Dews did indeed get loose here in Vegas. The Huskers in front 13-7, 2:20 first quarter.
Welcome back. Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, and we are joined now by Sam McKEWON from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, how are we doing this morning?
Great. How are you guys?
Good. It was good to see you in Viva Las Vegas. That was what'd you think of Allegiant?
I liked it. Yeah, it was nice. I mean, the press box was a long ways away from the field, so we had to kind of look at the video, the TV above us, and it's actually, look, I mean, I want to be at the games. I love covering the games live because you get to talk to the coaches and ask questions afterward. But that press box is quite a ways away from the field.
Yeah, I had to. I always count on Benny Mac anyway, but. Man, that's the most I've probably ever used my binoculars. It was, and he gets them kind of close enough for me to figure out the government work for getting them, whatever you call it,
dialed in.
But man, I don't like watching games like that. I don't know how people do it and talk at the same time. Kyle can do it, and people that use their binoculars obviously practice it. But the minute I put something to my face, I don't know. I can't say anything. It seems like I don't know.
Right. So it's like an all 11 or all 22 film. But when you watch all 22 film, you watch it again and again and again. So like it doesn't, when you're watching that live, they don't run the playback for you so you can watch it again. So you have to sync up. So what we do, or what I do, is I will watch the play, and then I will watch the TV screen, and then I will watch my phone, and those are all a little bit behind. The difference at Las Vegas is that the ESPN feed was literally a half second behind the game, which that's not common. Usually it's about 3 or 4 seconds.
That's close.
And then the phone is well behind, like 9 seconds. So usually I'm watching a play 3 times. During any given play, I'm watching it 3 times. I'm taking the note, then I'm watching the play again, and then Utah and Nebraska were both moving fast early in the game. Nothing wrong with tempo. I thought it helped Nebraska, but it was just getting into that rhythm took a bit over the first couple of drives of the game, and so that's just a little bit into my process. I'll try to watch a play 3 times, and then occasionally I'll even take my phone and film what I see on ESPN because if I want to look back at it. So I had to go back and kind of watch the whole game again and get, okay, what exactly happened here, and here. And interestingly enough, I feel like watching the game again, and people rip on the coaches, incessantly when they lose, which I understand. I don't think there was a lot of coaching mistakes in the game. I think there were some execution mistakes. And honestly, I thought Nebraska just didn't look like nearly as good of a team. I thought Utah had better players, and I thought I don't think it was like a stunning revelation when I watched it again. I'm like, yeah, Utah's a better team than Nebraska.
Let me ask you something, Sam. Do you think Nebraska's players are better than they look?
In some circumstances, I do.
I think that distinction. Okay. I just was curious.
Sure. Yeah, I think so. But I'll add this. That was a game with Big 12 skill. Right? We talk about line play a lot. So those tight ends, those are pretty good players. And Nebraska struggled to cover them. And it was, now would that have been somewhat the coverage adjustments that they made for the game? Yeah. But, 81 made a play on Sierra Wright. Nobody else has made this year.
Yeah, how about the throw, though?
Good throw.
The catch
Great
was
catch.
The catch. It's not like he. So I like the catch. It's fine. I'm not going to disparage that. But he didn't bobble it. He got 2 hands on it. It wasn't one-handed. He wasn't like – it was a good catch. It was a great throw, in my opinion.
No, I agree. And I think that what you saw in that game, They didn't face a lot of that this year. So when they got in that game, you saw the pass defense struggle because I think they were dealing with a quarterback who could run, who threw the ball really well. You know, it's 3rd and goal from the 20. Now, yeah, he had a lot of time, but he fit that thing in again to a tight end that's running across the field against the safety. Safety was behind the play. Like Utah had good players, and I'm not trying to diminish at all what Nebraska did or didn't do.
Yeah,
In watching the game again, I'm just saying, you know what? Nebraska's got to get a little bit better. Like it's not just faster or fresher or better players, or they need to be in a little bit better position. Their linemen need to be a little more sudden. Like there were just things that I watched during the game where I thought Utah came into this game missing their top 2 offensive tackles, and I think their top pass rusher, and maybe their top 2 pass rushers.
Yeah, both ends. One was hurt, one opted out.
Right. They didn't look too effective. They look like a very, very good team. And so I think Nebraska had, coming out of that game, had work to do. I thought coming into the game they had work to do. But I didn't think they were like, boy, I mean, what a weak performance. I thought when they went to Penn State, I didn't see much from Nebraska that day. I was not impressed. And then against Iowa, I thought it got away from them. And maybe they, their effort got a little away from them late in the game. I thought Nebraska played hard against Utah. I just don't think they had as good of football players, and that's a problem all its own. And that's something they're going to obviously address here in the portal over the next 10 days. They'll probably get north of 10 players, 12, 14 players. That's not a small number. And you're seeing a lot of guys leave too, because I think they understand that they're not going to be playing here, other than Keona Davis, obviously.
Sam, how much are you, obviously the portal's going to be the biggest story of the next couple of days. How much are you dialed into, like, hey, I'm trying to see who's visiting and stuff like that? Or are you kind of more of a wait and see how it all shakes out type of guy and see where the roster is at that point?
Well, I'm intrigued to see who's visiting. Sure. I want to see if Owen Chambliss picks Nebraska. He's visited.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see if Trey White visits Nebraska. I think Trey White might be a cut above that, but we'll see. I'm not trying to knock Nebraska. Maybe they can get him. If so, great. I'm intrigued by go ahead.
I was going to say, are you interested at all that so many of the visitors are offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, or is that exactly how you thought it should be?
Well, I think that's what I came to understand, and I kind of talked about it on one of our Pick Six podcasts. I came to understand that was going to be the intention. Yeah. So I came to understand that the feeling was, especially on the offensive line, we'll see if they get any of these guys on the defensive line. I think you got to bring in 10 of them, and then maybe you get one. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think the defensive line thing is almost the same. It's you have to bring them in, because otherwise you have no chance of getting anyone. On the offensive line, I came to understand that that's what they were going to do, and I think we've had 2 offensive linemen leave. It won't surprise me if there are more. For whatever reason, the guys that have been developing for multiple years aren't apparently quite ready. And I think they want to go out and go and get guys. And then at linebacker, no, I'm not surprised. No. So
yeah.
Wright and Watson Trent are gone. And, you've got what? You've got Vincent Shavers. You got Dawson Merritt. You got Dylan Rogers, but he was playing I'm not surprised they're bringing in linebackers. They don't have very many of them.
I'm going to make the case behind D-line, it's the most important position to get guys. I think they have to get 2. I really do.
Why is that?
Just because I think it's glaring. I mean, like, I don't know. It probably takes. I mean, we could watch film, but because it doesn't make for great radio, but it's little things. Like, I was so mad at Collinsworth last night because he was right, but he wasn't right. So Baltimore doubled at the point of attack. Nose got moved. He's a 2-gap guy. He got removed to backside A gap. So Nebraska has a linebacker in Queen that is an immediate front side A gap guy. he's doing his job. He sees run action. He's immediately front side A-gap guy. And Collinsworth goes, well, he kind of cowered and almost to take it on. I'm like, no. He knows he's A-gap responsible. He's not expecting his nose to be removed a gap and a half. The run fit inside of him pre-snap. That's a backside A-gap run hit. That's not because Queen fit it the way he did. Same as I'm saying for Nebraska's linebackers, we talk about where D-line ends up a lot, but I think linebacker, they have to do a better job of getting downhill quicker so you force balls to bounce. Like that defense is predicated, Sam, on no immediate vertical run seams. If you're going to spill, you have to spill. A lot of that is how you fit from the second and third levels just as much as it is on the D-line, if that makes any sense for radio. I apologize.
No, it does. It makes sense. Sure. Right. Yes, it makes sense. I think that I'm looking forward to Rob Orch's defense. I think it's going to make more personal sense to me. I don't know if this is a compliment to Bo Pelini or not, but I understood Bo Pelini's defense. I understood when it failed, why it failed. And I understood when it was successful, why it was successful. And you could understand where the linebackers were supposed to go. And I know it was described as complex, and I think it was, but I understood it. I actually had a hard time sometimes understanding what the hell was going on this year in the front group. Now, some of that might have been because the defensive linemen were getting moved or turned. Some of it was they were trying to execute stunts that they didn't even come close to executing. They didn't actually achieve it, and so you had guys running into each other. I don't know. It was unfortunate. Sometimes they didn't get lined up, and so what you saw was the only thing I could process in my brain is, well, that wasn't where they were supposed to line up. I don't know what they were supposed to do exactly. And so I did think that Nebraska did a pretty good job of doing that to some degree in the Utah game. And you saw that they didn't give up a ton of they gave up one 40-yard run on a broken tackle and whatever, but they didn't do a terrible job. So hopefully they get better there. But Shavers is the only one returning that has any playing experience. And then Dawson Merritt, but he was hurt. Christian Jones, Gage Stinger will come back. But that's
he's hilarious. He was great in Vegas. I watched him lift and rehab, and he was working out with Tyson Terry, who looks phenomenal. I mean, just kind of what they're doing with guys getting ready. I think was interesting to see. If you still want to continue to be able to provide depth, I like the plan in place for guys that are getting ready to play spring ball.
That's good. I think that's good. But, yeah, they needed linebackers, and I think Owen Chambliss will be one of them. I've watched a lot of his film over the last couple of days. He's an interesting player. He's very fast. So he can chase guys down, which is not a small thing. He's 6'3", and he's 210. He chases people down. He's fast, and he can blitz. He can get after the quarterback.
You want my hot take?
Yeah.
I think Nebraska needs to get smaller, a little lighter and twitchier than I think they need to get bigger and more stout. How's that for backwards philosophy? I do.
Vincent Shavers is small and twitchy.
So guess what? He needs to be a little lighter and a little twitchier, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he got a little. Yeah, he was.
He wasn't.
He was thick.
Yeah, and he's such a great I like being around him because I think he likes ball. But I think his body type is going to change a little bit. I just think they need to be a little lighter. Shoot,
they need to get faster for sure. They looked slow against Utah. They did not look. And I don't know if that's strength and conditioning or they were banged up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Them looking slow, and they kind of look slow.
That was one of the hot takes coming out. I think. That's good. I think for some, it just depends on who you're talking about. In my opinion, you know what I mean? Like if it's some guys are uncertain, some guys, I hate to say it, some guys kind of mailed it in my opinion. It looked like they mailed it in. Some guys just weren't ready for real game action, and they were kind of thrust into it. So I think I don't want to make any sweeping indictments on strength and conditioning being good, bad, or indifferent. I just think depending on who you're talking about, I think I have a decent idea on what was going on.
So they made a concerted effort, obviously, to play some young guys.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. But the question I asked Rhule in the postgame, and he took it a little bit different way, which was fine, is you knew you were going to incur some risk in doing that. Like, you can't expect, I'll often say this, you can't expect a true freshman quarterback to go out there and do everything you're asking him to do. The idea that TJ Lateef was going to replicate UCLA 4 times is silly. I mean, it's just not fair to him, and it's not reality. And so you couldn't expect young defensive backs who are playing the bulk of the game to replicate, like, to be able to just do everything that Deshaun Singleton would do.
Yeah.
Not that they didn't play well.
No, I will say, like, the elephant in the room is obviously Caleb, right? So,
well, he had 13 tackles. He probably shouldn't have 13 attempts at a tackle.
And I see.
If you're playing the way you're supposed to play,
I don't know, man. Well, tell that to a guy like Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs has double-digit tackles every week, and those guys are pretty good defensively. So I hate the sweeping generalizations that safeties can't lead your team in tackling, because it doesn't mean you're a bad defense.
Mike Brown did.
Yeah,
Mike Brown
and I think he played behind a fantastic D line, right? So but he didn't get cleared, and I'm hard on him, right? I'm a jerk to begin with, but I support him, right? He didn't get cleared to play or to practice full speed until Saturday morning. He didn't practice 3 practices before the bowl break. So when I look at his performance, I'm like, listen, I'm proud of him. He's opportunistic. He plays hard. But physically, he was probably 70% of what he was going to be. So I evaluate it on a couple of different things. I'm like, the performance, given where he came from, was a 10. His performance based on what he could be physically was a 6. right? So I'm honest about that. And he is too. The staff is too. They rushed to get him ready. I thanked every what do you call those guys? The training staff, just to get him ready to play. And they were honest. They were like, hey, man, Coach Rhule put a lot of pressure on us to make sure he was good to go. So we were up against the clock. And I was like, I appreciate that. But I'm not delusional, but you don't luck into 13 tackles.
No.
And play that hard. You know what I mean?
Right. And some of what they wanted to do is they took away the middle of the field. And so some of the runs bounced outside. Anyway, they've got a lot of work to do. I think that you're right, that there's a few guys that maybe didn't seem quite as fast. Watson Trent was not as fast of a linebacker as I'm sure they hoped he would be.
Yeah.
And he's a good guy and all the rest. But he was a 2.5 steps behind Sorsby in the season opener. And
you can practice differently to negate that. Like, I'm a big, because we're super critical, and rightfully so. Like, they do have to get better. But some of that is you can do in practice. Like, if I'm the staff, you can think, okay, listen, if we're slow to fit or get downhill or play 45s, we got to shoot our shot in practice more. Like, we need to see it as it's going to be played in practice more. Like, that's fixable. I'm not discouraged by that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They've got a lot to fix on defense. A lot to fix.
And I think some of it starts with your approach.
Yeah, that may be. I mean, you would know more. I don't watch practice, so it would not be for me to say. The other thing that I think came out of the game is that I don't know that Nebraska is going to go get a running back.
They'll probably get one for depth at least, right? I would imagine.
I don't know.
That's a pretty talented room.
I don't know. I don't know that they will.
They're not going to. They're not going to overspend. I can tell you that.
No.
I mean, yeah, you like Mosey and Nelson at the top end.
It's going to fit in the slot. Which
I think they like Ives.
Does it bug Sam? This bugs me a little bit. And I don't know if people are just trolling or they don't understand. I hear this. Well, Nebraska's not targeting such and such in the portal. They're getting cast-offs and guys like that. And I'm like, number one, people can make you dumber. But number two, we don't know who they're targeting for the most part.
Yeah.
Could be high-end, could be not. It also has to fit. The other thing is those people have to want to be at your school, right? Like right now, if you're talking about upper echelon, like Nebraska is, for lack of a better analogy, they're like the ugly girl or the ugly guy in school that has a lot of money. Like you have to be willing to make some allowances if you're going to date that guy. You know what I mean? But we make these sweeping generalizations like they're being lazy or they're half-assed in the portal, and this is not the case.
Yeah,
you don't land a guy like Chambliss and be shooting low. He's the top 5 rated linebacker in the portal, and they're gonna get him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't have any issues with their portal pursuits. I think one thing people will say, and it is a fair comment. We don't have an answer to it yet, is that Nebraska went and got a quarterback who has played very little college football. The best story about Kenny Minchey is, well, he should have won, or he actually did, but then they decided he wasn't the better quarterback, so they went with the other guy who's clearly very good. Like
Minchey's pretty good.
Then he'll prove it.
Yeah, like I'm pretty excited if he's what I think he is, and obviously I'm close to those guys at Notre Dame. But if Minchey's what I think he is, that's for what that room needs: maturity, talent, competitiveness. We'll see how the performance is, but those prerequisites is what that room needs. You need talent, you need competitiveness, and you need maturity. Like,
yeah, I agree with all that.
That's just me.
Yeah, like I agree with all that. He is going to be, and this is fair, he is going to be measured against who Illinois got, Katin Houser from East Carolina. Now, Katin Houser has played more football than Kenny Minchey. I'm not saying he's better. I'm saying he's played football. So he's going to be measured against that. He isn't going to be measured against Josh Hoover, but Josh Hoover is going to Indiana. The guy that Rutgers got is Dylan Lonergan, who was at Boston College. Who was previously at Alabama. So Rutgers went and got a guy. Nebraska's going to face these guys. Who is Oregon going to play at quarterback? Well, if Dante Moore comes back, which I don't think he needs to, but he might, then it'll be Dante Moore. If Dante Moore decides that he wants to go to the NFL and I don't know, I think he'd probably get picked before Mendoza, but maybe I'm wrong. Dylan Rhule. Is it going to be Dylan at Oregon? I don't know. If it is, then you'll get to measure what Oregon acquired and who they're playing against what Nebraska acquired and whether he's playing or beats Latif out or not. I don't know. I'm not saying Dylan's going to end up at Oregon. I know that was a rumbling a month ago, and the door has not been closed on it.
Yeah, no,
it hasn't been closed.
That has been out there for a minute.
I know. If he goes to Oregon, that means Dante Moore leaves.
And some of that was Dylan's own doing, right, with social media. So that's not a secret.
Perhaps. So if he goes to Oregon though, and let's say Dante Moore leaves, and he leaves, and Rhule goes to Oregon, and he's going to be the starter. That's gonna however we feel about Rhyle's time here, and I think it probably needed to come to an end. That's going to send a shockwave through the program, through the fans. They're gonna be like, so
wait a minute, what?
The guy that left here is gonna go to Oregon? Like that will be something. I'm not saying that
Sam, they're playing for championships. What's it gonna say? That their program is better? Like bleep.
Well, no, that Oregon thinks he's good enough to play for them.
Okay.
That's what it'll say.
And
I think there's an impression among some fans that he's actually not very good. Well, he's not actually very good, so it doesn't matter. If he goes to Oregon, he's pretty good. Because they wouldn't take him if he wasn't really good. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I'm a little
among some fans that he's not very good.
Oh,
and
okay.
I don't think that's true. I think he's pretty good, but I think some fans think, well, he's not very good. But if he went to Oregon, people wouldn't be able to say, well, Dan Lanning's just taking no. Dan Lanning wouldn't take a guy that just take a guy.
Yeah.
He must be pretty good, and that would be one of those moments where fans would be like, so. Are the former starting quarterback's going to go to a team that's going to win the national championship? Well, that doesn't feel very good.
I get it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's a statement about Oregon versus Nebraska. It would be a statement about Raiola. Now, if he was going to Louisville, I'm just telling you how fans are. Fans would be like, it's Louisville, whatever. He's not going to Louisville because they got a quarterback. Or if he went to TCU, they're like, TCU. But if he went to Oregon, it'd be different. Because it'd be like, so Nebraska's going to play this guy next year, and he's going to have all the Oregon toys around him. Like that's what I'm saying.
I got you.
So,
and then you got to compare that against Kenny Minchey. So Kenny Minchey will have a lot of opportunities to be really, really good. I think what we've seen on film, what I've heard about him is nothing but the gold standard of a kid, the gold standard of a leader, of a person in the locker room. But I heard a lot of that about TJ Lateef too. So
he's not void of talent though, is what I'm saying.
No, I agree. And I think it's going to be a real competition, and that sounds good to me. And he's going to have to win over his teammates because those guys in the locker room love TJ Lateef. And so he's going to have to win over his teammates, and I suspect that he will. And I'm really looking forward to covering a competition. And we haven't had a competition in 15 years at Nebraska, like a true one. And so I'm looking forward to that. I'm just saying that what Nebraska fans, I assume Kenny Minchey's ready for it. People will expect him to be very good. And he's going to have to prove it with his play on the field because there isn't a lot of play in college football in order to underline that. Whereas Caden Hauser, I'm not saying he's better. In fact, I don't think he is. He played at East Carolina. So I think Kenny Minchey's a good addition. When I heard that name, I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds good to me. I just know how fans are going to be like, what has he done? Well, he didn't win the Notre Dame job. That's just how fans are. And I have to interact with fans because those are our customers.
You and me both, brother.
Those are readers. I love them.
Sam, let me ask.
This is great.
Let me ask you this because I think there's maybe an important distinction, and you can tell me if I'm reading too much into this or not in terms of your comments. Is it possible Nebraska fans just don't think Dylan is as talented as the accommodations that were made for him?
That would be a Nebraska-esque culture. That it goes against the grain of what the state I could see that.
Not that they're just oh, he sucks, right? But for what he was paid, for what the situation was, for what was allowed for.
I think that's a very nuanced and informed take, and that would I think represent informed Nebraska fans. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a very thoughtful way of putting it.
Because that's my holdup, if I'm being honest. If he's making $1 million and we don't take a commitment from his brother that doesn't have any Power 4 offers and whatever other accommodations you think were made for him, I probably have way less issue with kind of how things went. But when you're like, hey, kind of gave this kid the sun, the moon, and the stars, and then it's out the door, I can't even write an Instagram post on ChatGPT, then you feel some kind of way about it.
I get it.
Right. Yeah. I'm not going to comment on the goodbye.
That's fine. You don't have to.
That may still come. I think my point, and I wrote this before he left actually, because I think there was a moment where it was still in flux. Is I wrote, if you were to go to Oregon, well, the expectation if he went there would be all those things, you're not doing any of that. You're coming to Oregon.
Right.
We're doing you a favor.
Kind of, yeah.
You come and play at Oregon. And so, we think you're good enough, but you're also coming to us. And so you're going to do all the things that you do, and you're not going to run out in front of everybody and any of that. But the reality is Nebraska let him do those things, and they were willing to accommodate those things. And again, hindsight being 2020, they could have very easily said, you're not going to do any of those things. And no, we're not going to do any of these things. And if you don't like that, then don't come here. and we'll go over here and you go over there. And the reality is Nebraska, said yes to it because they wanted to land a 5-star who could help them recruit players. And I don't know how that effort has panned out. And I don't want to get off on a sidetrack with Dylan. My point is that if he ends up at Oregon, fans are going to be like, well, I guess he was pretty good. And there are fans that think, well, he wasn't any good. And I'm like, that's not fair. Right?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Yeah,
he's pretty good.
And he would have helped them win some of the games late in the season. And, anyway, my point being that Kenny Minchey is going to be compared against. It won't just be, is Kenny Minchey good for Nebraska, but did Nebraska get a guy that's as good as this guy at Illinois or this guy at Rutgers or, and for what it's worth, I think Kenny Minchey can be better than a lot of them. And here's the other thing. If he is good and he has a good season, doesn't even need to be great. It will have been a great investment because he isn't going to cost you $3.5 million. I'm surprised that Texas Tech is spending that much money on Brendan Sorsby. I think he's a good player. I'm surprised they're spending that much money on him. I think Virginia Tech might have gotten the best bargain deal of it all, the guy that they just got from Penn State, which I'm guessing they didn't cost him very much money, but he's a hell of a player.
Yeah.
Based on what he did over the last 7 games of the season. And that guy, instead of going out in the market, just followed his coach to Virginia Tech, which is quite a coup for James Franklin, in my opinion. I think he just got a guy that's going to be a 2-year starter there and throw for about 7,000 yards over the next 2 years. And so I think Nebraska, in getting Minchey, is they're taking a little bit of a chance. One chance they're taking is that Minchey's going to win the job, and Lateef looks at it and says, well, I guess I don't really know what I'm going to do, and would leave after next season. But the other chance they're taking is that, he hasn't done a lot of it on the field, and he's going to have to prove it when the games start. Do we know that he's going to win the starting job right now? We don't. I think he's going to compete with Lateef, and the best man's going to win. And I think that the competition will make both of them better, but I think it will really benefit Lateef. Lateef needs to be able to compete against somebody versus just having the job in the spring. He needs to get better as a player, and if he gets better, then the whole room will get better.
All right. I got to get to hoops, man. I'm sorry to keep. We always do because you give these good.
Football, man. We love you around. Who are we kidding?
So I was very
the greatest sport on earth.
I'm just gonna be honest. I'm super transparent. When the line came out, it was 2.5. I was like, oh shoot, man, you got to take Michigan State. Like, then it got down to 2, and it was back to 2.5. And I was like, oh fudge, I don't have a good feeling. Like I kind of like Michigan State in this one, and I was pretty open about that. And I'm the guy that said all along, like 8 games ago, hey, Nebraska's just really good. Like what they do is portable. They guard. Right. They're hard to play against the first time defensively because you know how they're always trapping and But I'm going to tell you, winning a game in the low 50s by 2 against Michigan State, I did not have on the bingo card. Does that further enhance how you feel about this basketball team?
It does.
Yeah. That was impressive, man.
Very impressive.
I get it was a tight line, but the way they won
that's
that
like stylistically,
game, that was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Fred was pleased with it too. That looked like a Kelvin Sampson coach team, the level of defensive energy and intensity that they have. And that looked like Houston, and that was impressive to me because, well, Nebraska did a lot of things in that game. Obviously, anything that got to the baseline never got through the baseline. So nobody was able to win.
Never does, man. They're tough.
And obviously when they get in the post, it's over. They did a really good job when Sears would come off a screen of doubling him and then forcing him to make a choice. And he had his moments. He got the line 10 times, but he wasn't dominant by any means, and he never got downhill. And so they took away his drive lanes.
It's impressive.
The one thing that I think Michigan, so the couple things that you can do against Nebraska is you can pick and pop over and over, and you can hope that your guys make threes, and Kohler made some.
Mm-hmm.
Or it almost functions like a 2-3 zone, and there's a little spot right in the middle of the floor, right around the free throw line, that if you've got a guy that you can get it to there and he can either hit that shot or he can distribute from that spot, you're dangerous. They had whatever his number 15, and he wasn't good enough. Now, if Derek Walker were there or Rink Maston's there, you might have a problem if based on the defensive scheme that Nebraska was running. But Michigan State didn't have that player, and so I thought Nebraska did a great job in half court, and then they did a great job of getting back. The challenge is a little bit different tonight against Ohio State. I think Ohio State will have some success. I think it'll be a tough game to win. I don't think it's a slam dunk that Nebraska wins the game. But everything they do travels well, and they're going to win a lot of games this year. They're going to win a lot of games, and Fred Hoiberg has found it. They're old, they're smart, they can shoot.
For whatever the reason, man, Ohio State gives them fits.
Yeah, they have good players. That's good. They have good players.
I think a lot of it is how they play, though. I mean, that's a high energy, and I can't stand him at the point. I make fun of him. You're gonna laugh. I'm not even gonna call him by name. But he deals Nebraska fits, man. They're relentless, and it's a tight line, Sam. What if you at first blush? What would you make Nebraska against Ohio State on the road?
A 3-point favorite?
Yeah, they're a 3-point dog.
Yeah.
So you're right.
I think it's gonna be a hard game. I think it'll be a challenging game. Won't be easy to win. I think they're going to beat Indiana at Indiana. They've had success down there.
I watched them the other day. I don't know. It's going to be a good one.
D-Rock's pretty good.
Well, this is a challenging week. This is a more – I think this is a more challenging week than last week because you got to play twice on the road against two good teams, and they were ready for Michigan State. You could tell that they were very prepared for everything they needed to do, and so now it's going to shift a little bit, and winning on the road is hard, but – anyway, they're going to win a lot of games. I don't know what the final number will be. 22,
I mean, what would you
23.
have given that grade? They won against a top 15, top 10 program with probably their C game in some facets. Your second best player was a non-factor, but defensively, like the numbers add up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they played, their defense was amazing.
And that's no disrespect. I mean, Michigan State is top 6 defensive efficiency heading into that one. But
yeah, they're good.
Nebraska won stylistically in a game where I'm like, I mean, Mass didn't score. Well, he didn't have near the second half that he did in the first.
Yeah, I think he only scored 2 points in the second half. Yeah.
Yeah, they played really well. Michigan State, I don't know that they're a top 10 team. But they do have good wins this season. It's going to be a step up in competition, obviously, when they play Michigan, which is
they're
certainly the best team in the league. So now, all that said, they played Michigan well too. They've defended Michigan really well, and so they're not gonna back down. The one thing that I will say, and this is a long ways away. But I would just mentally prepare yourself for 2 losses in Los Angeles unless Nebraska is extremely good, because that's kind of what happens when teams go out there. So the way that I would think about this team is try to win 1 or 2 extra games under the presumption that regardless of how good UCLA and USC are, you might struggle to win either one of those games when you go out there.
UCLA just did not look good against Iowa. But
no, they didn't. And one of the games is at 10 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Pacific. So now that's a long ways away. That's in March. I'm just saying that what we've seen experientially is that teams have a hard time going out there. You saw, not that you care about this, but the Michigan women's basketball team, is really good.
You think, who do you know that likes to talk to you about women's basketball more than me?
Right. So they went out and they lost to it. They beat Oregon in triple OT, and it wasn't a good Oregon team. and then they went and lost to Washington. Going west, even though Nebraska did it last year and won 2 games, going west is hard. And so you have to just mentally build that in. So, like, for example, if they were to win both against Ohio State and Indiana, which I don't know that they will, but if they were, that'd sort of cancel out that LA trip, and you don't even need to think about it. But let's say they only – I'm just saying.
Right,
like that.
I get you.
I think about this stuff way ahead, and what I think about is Nebraska's got to get a seed that, A, gets them close to Nebraska, so like Oklahoma City or St. Louis or wherever else it is, A, and B, Nebraska's got to get a seed where they play a team that can't beat them, because I think there's going to be a big mental hurdle when they get to the tournament, and they're going to have to plow through that first game, and it would help if it were Louisiana Monroe or
you need them to be a 4, right?
Yeah, 4. You want a 4 or higher.
Somebody like that.
You want a 4 or higher, basically, is what you're saying.
A team that they can just, Akron, whatever. A team they can beat 61-53. Creighton had one a couple of years ago when they played Long Beach State. And Long Beach State was tough, quote unquote, but they barely won the game, as people remember. I think Christian Bishop hit a shot. You just need a game where you're playing a team you can beat. Then you get over that hump, and then I think Nebraska could make a huge, long run in the NCAA tournament if they can get over that first game. So I think you want to get as good a seed as possible so that your first game opponent is just not – they're just a team that you don't have to – they're not Villanova as an 11 something.
Yeah. Sam, I want to get you out of this real quick. This kind of yes or no. Shane, you can play the music. It's fine. And this is because I've watched Frager for 6 years. I don't have any problems with him. I know who he is. I know how he plays. I know because he is who he is, it's why he plays the way he does. Did you have any problems with the whole Frager Fierce thing?
Well, I think in hindsight he wouldn't do what he did. It cost him a technical foul, and yeah. So that would be my take, is that if you're doing something that causes a technical foul that also might potentially be something that could be offensive to another player, then that's something that in the future you don't want to do. So I credit Rink Mast and for coming and talking to him right away, and I think that handled things. And then later when he thought he took a charge but he didn't, Garcia for coming there and helping too. That's my take on it. Is anything that's going to get you a technical foul you shouldn't be doing, and then of course, any gesture that might bring up other things is not the way to go either. That's my take on it.
You're too good of a person, Sam. You need to be a bad guy like me.
Frager will continue forward, and he'll learn from that, and it will be I think it'll be a learning experience. And yeah, that'd be my take. Is let's not do that, and let's keep our cool, A, and B, be thoughtful about the things that we're doing on the court.
All right.
That is Sam McKEWON from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, buddy. We made up. We missed you. Bye.
That is Sam McKEWON. We've got to get to our next guest, Vinnie Irish from the Sporting News, talk a little NFL. That's DBM Ravi Lulla. Let's start at Sports Live.
Listen, we got out rebounded by 14. I thought we did a hell of a job in that first half where you really needed to go out and set the tone. I think they had 2 at halftime, and I thought our transition defense was exceptional, and we never took the wrong path chasing down a rebound that we couldn't get. This is the best defensive rebounding team in the country, and we were dead if we were going to chase balls down. So, I thought our guys really followed the game plan. And those were the keys. We had 2 of them tonight. It was get back and rebound, and I said it about 1,000 times in the last 3 days. Not very often are you going to win a game when you shoot under 25% in the second half against a top 10 team. But I thought our activity on the defensive end, 19 turnovers, is what we forced. They take really good care of the basketball, and that was the difference. Was finding a way to manufacture some points. Price unfortunately got in foul trouble. We hung in there without him, and we're even at the break. We felt pretty good about that. And then he picks up his 4th with about 10 to go. And again, we hung in there, but Knew they would make a run. We got up 9. Talked to Braden about the incident. That can't happen.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Burrow, he's under pressure, he's sacked! And there it is, a record that has stood nearly a quarter of a century has a new leader as 30-year-old Myles Garrett records his NFL record 23rd sack of the year.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by VINNIE IYER. He's an NFL writer for the Sporting News. VINNIE, how we doing this morning?
Oh, doing well. Thanks for having me.
All right, VINNIE. Who's winning 3 in a row in the AFC?
Oh boy.
Or do they have? Or do they have to? Because the team you like has a bye.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Jaguars maybe making a run. I don't know. They're the hottest team right now, so I'm just going with that. I mean, it's wide open, and some of these matchups, I think, kind of didn't favor the wild card team.
I agree.
Like the way that things happened with the seeding, like I think the Jaguars can give the Bills problems because they're a complete offense and they can run the ball. And
Bills
Trevor
can't
Lawrence,
stop the run.
Yeah, the Trevor Lawrence is red hot. And the Chargers, I mean, I don't know what they were doing, like not trying to do anything to move up, but now they've got a tough matchup right away against the Patriots, going cross country, and then the Texans. Look, the Texans are a fine team, but they're not going to blow out people, and the Steelers are that type of team. They're going to grind you to a pulp and try to win a close game. So I don't know if it all worked out for the wild card. It's kind of surprising. I think the NFL, the intention was, I mean, let's be honest here. If the Bills were playing anybody other than the Jets, it may not have worked in their favor as well, right? I mean, to sit people. So I don't know if that's what the NFL wanted, right? I mean, I know they want to make it important to get the number 1 seed and all that and to win a division. But I don't know if they made it important to say, I want 2 versus 3, 2 versus 4, 5 versus 7 as important. And I think these teams kind of, it was tough to watch a lot of these games yesterday that had a lot of backup people and people not really playing for much out there. Really, the game that had the most on the line was the Browns-Bengals, and that was the most interesting early.
Moving over to the NFC, we'll talk playoff picture here real quick, and then we can get some of the Black Monday things going on as a guy that I've been wondering about for several years finally got fired. On the NFC side of things, is there a matchup that you think is particularly interesting? Obviously, you got Bears-Packers, which I think a lot of people point to. But out of those 3 wild card games, is there one you're particularly intrigued by?
Yeah, it's the 49ers, Eagles. I mean, 2 teams that have been to the Super Bowl of late. I mean, they've been representing this conference. I think either of those teams can make a run, but unfortunately, they got to play each other early. They've got a share of issues. The Eagles have their offensive dysfunction, but the 49ers have been breaking down defensively with all their injuries. So something's going to have to give there. The 49ers can still be competitive with their offense. It should be a marquee game with all the talent on the field there. So I'm looking forward to that one the most, I would say, just because it's so 2 heavyweights that have been there, and in a wide open field, either one of those can make a run.
VINNIE, if you had to play a game tomorrow, you taking the Seahawks defense or the Texans?
I think I'm taking the Seahawks only because I think you're seeing the Texans of late, right? They're giving up a lot of downfield stuff. If you look at that Cardinals game, Jacoby Brissett was just flinging the ball. You had Riley Leonard just like standing there and throw deep balls.
Oh, he was on a heater.
Yeah, so I think you can beat them with deep balls more so than the Seahawks. I think it's really hard to get anything on the Seahawks at this point. I mean, they had trouble before with running backs and tight ends. You're going to have to kind of dink and dunk and be methodical on the Seahawks, where I think you can, if you have a big arm quarterback, go after the Texans. So I wonder if that's going to come into play with Rodgers this week. And they just say, hey, DK Metcalf's back. We're going to take our shots downfield and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, if the 49ers couldn't really get much with their tight end and running back, I'm not sure who's going to.
They hit, too. Like, that's the thing that Seattle tackles.
Yeah. I mean, you look at basically the Ravens' defensive mojo and went out the door to Seattle.
So yeah, I mean, basically. Remember they thought they had it fixed with this great move of moving and now his name escapes me, fresh off the concussion last night. Remember the first half Ravens last year were not bad. They were bad, and then they moved Hamilton to safety, and it's like, oh, we think we found our juju. And then, no, like it just wasn't sustainable post-McDonald.
Yeah, I mean, Seahawks, if you look at them as a whole, you say, okay, who are the dominant players? They're a little bit more schematic-based, but their scheme is so good. Again, it reminds me a lot of what they used to have, with the
Spoon and Williams are really, really good, back end and D-line.
Yeah. So they don't have a nickname or anything like that. They don't have guys that yap or like Richard Sherman that's dominating as a personality, but they get the job done, and that's what you're seeing with the Seahawks. And again, these are the two, as you mentioned, Texans and Seahawks is a good comparison. They're the two best scoring defenses in the playoffs, but I wonder if this is going to be more about, okay, which quarterback can you trust in those tougher games to come through? And that's where I think we have pause a little bit, right? I think we have to have pause with the body of work we've seen in C.J. Stroud and Sam Darnold, where the turnovers could cost them in any game. And turnovers, we know, determine a lot of playoff runs here.
So, you bring up kind of an interesting part there with the quarterbacks because, I think still some people with Jalen Hurts, despite the Super Bowl, don't necessarily trust him. Brock Purdy has his detractors. Then you've got a bunch of guys that either haven't done it or have shown they can't do it, or you've got Matt Stafford who's done it but is older but also might be the MVP. What quarterback, it could be NFC or AFC, I know I just did the NFC there, what quarterback do you trust the most that isn't named Josh Allen?
Yeah, for me right now with the Jaguars, with talent and this is a physical talent that's been around for a while. He just needed the people around him to get it done. And Trevor Lawrence is really the guy to look at. I mean, when you look at complete package, the way he's playing the last several weeks, I think that's why they kept him in that game. Everyone was questioning why is he still in that game in the second half. I think they just wanted to keeping him hot, keep the momentum up going into the next week. And he's going to be having that, right? There's going to be no rust on this guy going in. They've been playing for a lot the last several weeks, and they've kind of been in playoff mode. So Lawrence, I think the talent is all coming together finally put him in a scheme with the talent around him that he needed to live up to expectations. I mean, this guy's been through a mess, right? I mean, between Urban Meyer and Doug Peterson, they were just stale coaching staffs.
Nobody's happier than my partner, Vinny. I'm just telling you. Once upon a time, he called Lawrence a generational talent, and he gave it context, but our listeners have.
I've been getting killed for 2 years on that, Vinny.
So when you said Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence, he almost did a cartwheel.
I'll die on that hill that he's a generational talent.
I'll just say this. I've watched him probably more in college than, being in Charlotte, Clemson is a thing, right?
Yeah.
So, not now as much, but, when those teams are winning, those teams were executing at a very high level. And then I also remember seeing him in college, play in person, where, I knew the physical talent was there, but you had to still guide him. Mm-hmm. You had to put him in a situation where he was going to succeed. He was a very talented quarterback, but you had to have a system. So I'd say he's up there. I think Drake May has proved over and over again that he can handle what's being thrown at him. So I think there could be a bit of a changing of the guard with one of those guys coming through. And then on the NC side, yeah, it's going to stink. If you lose the Hurts-Purdy game, like, what does that quarterback have to do to get people off their back? I mean, especially Hurts. If he loses that game and people are ripping into him, I'll be like, he just gave you the Super Bowl. So I think I still trust Hurts quite a bit. I really trust the quarterbacks in that game. Unfortunately, they're going to have to play each other. Outside of that, I mean, it's really hard in the NFC. I'd say you just go straight to Stafford. You know, he's done it just 4 years ago.
So let me flip that for you. Who is the quarterback in all the playoffs that you would be the most surprised by if they're just like, yeah, I'm that dude?
Yeah, I guess I should take somebody off the table before we start this. Like, I don't think Bryce Young and the Panthers are going to make a run, so I'm going to take them off.
Okay.
Like, I think that's the easy answer. Like, if we go from there. So now go digging a little bit deeper into what we have. I'm going to go with a little bit of controversial one, but I'm going to say it's Justin Herbert. There's something about Justin Herbert in bigger games that has not been good. I mean, I like them to beat the Texans last year, and
the 5 picks through you.
And the last time, right? I mean, that was terrible. And then don't forget the comeback with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
I think
people forget about Trevor Lawrence and his incredible playoff performance.
Knock it off.
People forget.
Well, they do. I know. And Justin Herbert. I mean, I think this guy also. You look at the Chargers' offensive line, like he's gotten beaten up.
Yeah.
That's why they couldn't play him. Like, even though they're seating on the line, like they put him out there against the Broncos defense, he probably would not have been able to start probably the way how many sacks he's been taking of late. So, look, it gives him a chance. I mean, the Patriots are not the number one pass rush team. They still have some guys who can get to the quarterback. So, in that sense, they got an okay matchup, but I don't know. I can't really trust Justin Herbert going into New England and doing anything to help Harbaugh win that game. So I think that's a tough draw, and also a guy that, again, has had 2 really bad playoff games late. So I don't know. There's something off about that whole offense and team. I don't know if Harbaugh is going to have to make some changes, but I don't know if it's working as well as they'd like with Greg Roman. Part of it is, again, the Chargers' history. It doesn't matter who is wearing that uniform. They can't keep guys healthy. I mean, they just can't.
I'll stay with the playoffs here real quick just before I get to the Black Friday. Now, you are talking to a resident Steelers honk. Is there anything portable that you saw from the Steelers offensively that you think works in the playoffs, or is it just a microcosm of the Ravens seemingly having to dress me to play defense last night?
Well, I think the biggest thing is they have to stay aggressive throwing downfield. Now, if that guy is DK Metcalf a few times in that game, I don't think that game is that close. If it's Marquez Valdez-Scantling, you knew even the previous week, right? I think if they had DK Metcalf, I think it would have been a big difference against the Browns. So I'm not saying he's that much of a difference maker as an individual talent, but for that team that has nothing at wide receiver after him, he's a mismatch creator, right? So he's a guy that can go after like an Alec Pierce or Michael Wilson, someone fast and strong that can run downfield on that.
Michael Wilson is a terror. That's a great pull.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a great one. I don't know, like people don't want to say this, but I think he's clearly become the number one there over Marvin Harrison Jr. So that's something to look at. But when you look at this downfield ability and Rodgers, I think if I'm Rodgers, I would just come out ripping and don't care. Like, no one's expecting to win this game. The Steelers, everyone is down. Everyone expects the Steelers to go 10-7, 9-8, then lose their first playoff game. So this is the perfect opportunity to kind of change that narrative. We're just say, I don't care if we're going to try our best. If we go down swinging, we go down swinging. But I think that's the thing he gives that they've not had in quite some time, since really Ben Roethlisberger was kind of at a point where he could still push the ball downfield.
And Tomlin was landing on the line last night. He wasn't gun shy about going for it. So maybe you're right. 0, 1, or 2 of Bulls, and let's go with Pete Carroll. How many survive the firings?
You're talking about this is a tough game to play. I didn't think Raheem Morris was out.
I didn't think he'd be first.
Yeah, I didn't think he would be first. I think Carroll is. I'm going to call it 1. Just go from there.
Even with Tampa's end, huh? Or do you attribute that more to health?
I think they're going to. I don't know. They're going to have to make some. They're going to have to make some moves there to change that team. So if Bowles is going to be there, I think that's going to be part of it. But I think they might give him a little bit of leeway given how they've played since Bruce Arians left. But I don't know if it's going to be all that much.
Are you surprised that Cleveland made a move on Kevin Stefanski? People keep telling me how good of a coach he is.
I mean, he's had his ups and downs. I mean, it's been a long time. I don't know, maybe it's a culture thing that they're looking for, but given that there were some positives to take away with Shedeur Sanders and all that, like, I think, I'll just be honest, I don't think the offensive talent was there for any coach to win. So it's going to be hard to find somebody. I think the Browns players liked him quite a bit, so they're going to have to find someone they can respond to pretty quickly.
All right, last one from me, Vinny. I thought he would come up. You pulled a – I get it. It was a hot take with Hurrdat. Hurrdat, more or less confidence than Bo Nix?
I'm actually less confident in Hurrdat than Bo Nix. Because Bo Nix has the fourth quarter comeback thing going, and that's pretty big in the playoffs. So,
because you said the playoffs. Because Hurrdat has a ton. It's just it hasn't been when it counted.
Yep. I mean, I don't know. Like, since his rookie season, I've tried to find that it moment for him, and it's really hard to do that. So,
all right. Well, you validated one guy. My partner loves Lawrence. I'm a Hurrdat guy, so Vinny. Listen, you're balanced.
I think the talent is there with Hurrdat. I just think keep in mind, he's had a constant change of schemes as well. And he's had offensive line issues in front of him. The receivers keep shifting. But there's some mistakes. Just look at the body of the work with how he allowed to come back with the Jaguars. He didn't play well overall that game.
And he threw 5 picks in one game. He thrown 3 in the season. So, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Here's the $50 million question, Vinny. Would the Chargers be better off with Trevor Lawrence?
I don't know. Could he give them some of the
the Jags skill is sneaky good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think Liam Cohn, like you've seen, look at the way Baker Mayfield's season went. With Liam Cohn, without him, I think he's big influence.
Although Baker early was in fuego.
Yeah, I think that was maybe just having the kind of maybe the leftover concepts, and I know a lot of the injuries and things affected them quite a bit. So in the end, I think the biggest difference is they weren't able to run the ball as well to help Baker. And I think that's a concept that Liam Cohn has, right? With Travis Etienne, he's a big part of every game plan. So, I think he's from Sean McVay's system. We talk about all these McVay hires. He's a pretty good one so far.
That is our guy, Vinnie Iyer from the Sporting News. Vinny, appreciate the time as always, and enjoy your week.
Thanks, buddy.
Right.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
That is Vinnie Iyer from the Sporting News.
My man with Trevor Lawrence.
Let's go.
Streaky.
Let's go.
You child.
It's time. It's T-Law time. You know where it's T-Law time? Duval.
T-Law. Here we go.
We will be right back. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
Listen, we got out-rebounded by 14. I thought we did a hell of a job in that first half where you really needed to go out and set the tone. I think they had 2 at halftime, and I thought our transition defense was exceptional, and we never took the wrong path chasing down a rebound that we couldn't get. This is the best defensive rebounding team in the country. and we were dead if we were going to chase balls down. So, I thought our guys really followed the game plan, and those were the keys. We had 2 of them tonight. It was get back and rebound, and I said it about 1,000 times in the last 3 days. Not very often are you going to win a game when you shoot under 25% in the second half against a top 10 team. But I thought our activity on the defensive end, 19 turnovers is what we forced. They take really good care of the basketball. And that was the difference, was finding a way to manufacture some points. Price unfortunately got in foul trouble. We hung in there without him, and we're even at the break. We felt pretty good about that. And then he picks up his 4th with about 10 to go. And again, we hung in there, but knew they would make a run. We got up 9. Talked to Braden about the incident. That can't happen.
Yeah, our guys it's all mental. Our guys just bought in a little bit more to the pace that we want to wrestle and just confidence in their attacks. I think, this game is, man, it's a mental game when you get out there and, it's like Harley Anders right at the end, He ended up getting a major, which was really great, but you just, you sometimes you just need to be able to hit a move or get a little break where it opens up some leeway where hey, I'm confident in this, And so just to see them a little bit more confident in their attacks was really good. We've spent a ton of time on it, and it was good to see. I think Alan Kaler, man, just little details from winning that match. That kid's a round of 12 guy, and he's been around a 12 guy a couple times, I think.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen.
You cannot get mad.
That's not on him. That's not on him.
You cannot get mad.
Is it because I kept talking?
You can't get mad
That's
at that one.
that one's not on
There was
him.
like 17 false takes there.
That one's not on him.
I'm sorry.
I'll defend Shane on that one. That one's not on him.
I lead it.
Presented by Next Gen Male Medical. Make sure you get out. You know, it's that new year. People got resolutions, trying to change their body, change their life, change how they feel. Whatever it is, Next Gen has you covered for both men and women. I know it's got male right there in the title, but they've got treatments for women as well. Don't forget to give them a call and get your New Year's resolutions off to a good start. 402-614-9700. If it was me, I'd ask them about their peptide therapy.
Peptide.
You know, which one I like, DB?
Sarah Moylan.
Sir Moreland.
By the way.
Almost nailed it. You were right there.
They just ordered that for me.
Oh, are you going to get on it?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I've been on it.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were on that one.
Guess what?
What's that?
Remember, that's the one where I shouldn't even give you any ammo, but he told me, he's like, hey, the unit's 10. I showed him a picture. He goes, yeah, now draw it
to the 10.
No. So it was halfway. It was 5.
Oh, okay.
And he goes, hey, now just draw it halfway in between the line. And I was like,
just about half.
Nick thinks I'm an idiot. So now every time I get there, I've been in the same room. Remember I told you room 2 is always my room?
Yeah.
They just say, go to your room.
Go.
They don't even I don't even think they like talking to me. I don't know. I blew my breath super loud like a child. I was like,
huffing and puffing.
Well, they had made a Chick-fil-A run, and the line was like free cheese and butter next door.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was around the bend, not the steakhouse, but
yeah.
And
no, I don't go around the block. That
so
line.
I was like, well, what's going on? This is as long as I've been in. You know, I'm 5 minutes. I'm max 5 minutes.
In and out.
I'm max 5 minutes. So I must have blown my breath too loud, and they're like, should be with you in a minute, DB. I was like,
I heard you just breathing heavy from the other room, just sighing.
So it's from being antisocial. I'm telling you, once I got back from Vegas, I think the only person that I talked to every day outside of the group chat was Ryan.
Oh, yeah?
That's it.
I tried to, because I figured I was like, hey, he's probably shutting it down on our break a little bit. So I tried not to blow you up too much.
Yeah, I didn't.
I hit you up with a couple just to make sure, like, you knew I was checking in. But
yeah, like
I was mostly just sending Instagram reels.
Yeah, you're a child. Well, you know, the back half of December is just hard on me.
Yeah. That's why I was like, listen, I'm not going to be all up in your business. I just,
it's just so.
That's what the break is for. We got to shut it down a little bit.
So Micah screwed up the garage.
Oh, what do you do?
Apparently backing out. I don't know. He still hasn't really come. It's I didn't hear anything, but I wasn't at home, so Lupe fixed it.
Yeah.
Well, he had a guy.
Oh, sure.
So
kind of helped you out there a little bit.
Called from Vegas, and his buddy fixed it in like the same day.
Oh,
because
nice.
the garage wouldn't go down, and I'm worried. Like, you found like
you want
the garage
secured, yeah.
So, I had just purchased a fantastic thing of tequila.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it away.
Oh, look at you.
He didn't answer, so I left it at his door.
What was it? Do you remember?
I got his doorbell.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it is like, where you're
like,
somebody
here you go.
You're like,
here you go. Little short arms, little alligator arms.
But I have two and I've only opened one, so they were gifts. So I'll enjoy those.
So we were talking about Kenny Minchey a little bit with Sam.
Yes.
And you brought up. Sorry, I wanted to talk about it, so I didn't have a good transition.
How about that whole? You like that?
I do, yeah. So I wasn't gonna totally get into that part, but you
don't have to.
You mentioned that you liked him.
Yeah.
And so I know you've got obviously some of your boys over at Notre Dame. Were at least one of them were. I was super happy to see Anthony go to SDSU. That's a great spot for him.
Pumped.
That's a great, not just because of D-Jack, but just like
it's a
great spot for him.
It's a great spot for him, and he's an incredible player.
Yeah, like I know that's I've been on that forever, right? Like sophomore year, basically. Big fan of Anthony. So excited to see him get an opportunity to ball out there. But you've obviously got some familiarity with the staff, obviously with the quarterback room because of Anthony. What was it about Kenny that you kind of drew you to him?
Because I think he's really talented.
Okay.
And
I think our guy Tim Verghese would agree. I watched his breakdown.
I think it got a little political over there. And
with CJ Carr?
Just in general.
Okay.
I mean, because
Angeli.
Yeah, it was a weird dynamic.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
And I think for him to stick around and to be a really good teammate was incredible. And he's talented.
Yeah.
And they like
good tape. I mean, it's good tape.
Oh, they liked him.
Yeah.
I mean, they understand.
Yeah.
And so I like that part because he's super talented. Number one, he's mature. Like he comes from tutelage that is at a high level. So he brings a certain amount of excellence to every room he enters. The room is going to be better because he's in it.
Yeah.
Number three, he knows what it's like to compete, and he hasn't always had it go his way.
Sure.
Critical.
That's a huge.
It is for this team, for what they need, it is critical. Because now this is year 4, and you need substance. This is zero about style. This is all substance. This is guts. This is landing on the line. There are no.
Got to rack up some W's.
Yeah, and you've gotten rid of any excuses that you could maybe use, whether it's transitioning scheme or handling the quarterback situation or now you do have to transition this defense.
But you hired the guy that has the track record of doing it quickly.
You got your temperament you wanted. So now you just go play ball. So I mean, and listen, nobody's gonna be like, hey man, but go play ball. You go play ball.
Yeah,
and I hope they learn now, like just guys that want to play, find a way for them to play. Don't worry about anything else.
So this kind of brought that. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said. Well, so a couple things, right? We saw this with, and we don't need to talk about Creighton today because there's been a lot going on, but we saw this with Creighton where Coach Mack is like, I'm going to play the guys that I know are going to play hard. And their season turned around, right? Despite the loss of Seton Hall. And I'm kind of just sitting there and I go, this was on the rundown before we left for break. And I don't know how else to put this. So Mom, if you're still listening, she only listens to the first hour, pardon my language, but I'm trying to quantify how much just giving a shit like covers over a lot of other stuff.
A lot.
Like I'm trying to figure out because
a lot.
It's the more we talk about this, the more I'm just like, the guys that give a damn are just the ones that are going to win.
Yeah.
It makes me mad a little because it seems too simple. And so I think to guys like Cignetti, right, that he's our outlier, he's our unicorn, right? No one in the history of college football has ever done what he's done the first 2 years in Indiana. Like, I don't think that's an exaggeration.
Shane, you got a Cignetti clip for me? You falling asleep at the wheel. You want to go back to Indiana?
Nah.
You got a Cignetti clip for me?
Oh, yeah. I always got Cignetti clips.
All right, play it in its entirety. This was 20 years ago.
And sometimes it can be painful. But, there's two kinds of pain in life. There's a pain of commitment and the pain of regret. Now which kind of pain do you want to undergo? And most of our guys understand that. They buy in, they've bought in. I'm proud of their buy-in up to this point. It'll take a great work ethic to achieve the goals and get to where we want to get to. But, it doesn't take any talent to have a great work ethic. We want to be relentless competitors that compete every play for 60 minutes. And toughness, which is really the fourth building block, in the principles and values of our program. Mental and physical toughness. And in some ways, mental toughness is more important than physical toughness. Never giving in and being your best, regardless of the competitive circumstances, always playing at your best level.
See what I'm saying? That was at IUP. That was 15 years ago.
Division
That's 2011.
I mean, it's 2026. That's 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah, it is. 2026.
Yeah.
Listen, I was so
And sometimes it can be
in
painful.
2025. I'm just ready to move on.
Like I sit here and I go, maybe that's, we're trying to figure out what is.
He says the same things, right?
Yes, that's why you sent it to me originally. Is you're like, he said the same thing at IUP as he said at Elon, as he said at James Madison, as he says at Indiana.
What I tell you, I'd love to see in the position rooms.
Non-negotiables.
Non-negotiables.
Yeah.
He talks in non-negotiables.
Yeah.
They sound like absolutes, don't they?
I mean that's what a non-negotiable is, right? It's an absolute.
Listen to me land the plane.
Yeah.
So but coaches don't like to use words like never and always.
It backs you into a corner.
Yeah, because you're forced to quantify it.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that he talks gives you the impression of a non-negotiable or an absolute without using words
like always and never
that are absolute.
Yeah. No, so the thing that
now at some point you have to have talent.
Yes. So that's the thing, right? You have given, but last year I'll make this argument all day. I don't think that was a terribly talented Indiana team last year. They were fine.
Yeah.
They're a lot better this year. But they were fine. There's a reason.
He got a quarterback that was left for dead
at Ohio
to look like.
Right? It was Ohio. Rourke was from Ohio. Like there has to be a bare minimum level of talent, but let's not kid ourselves and think that Indiana was super talented last year. There's a reason it went the way it did against Ohio State, and then when they got in the playoff, right? Like they were out talented. That's what Sam was talking about Bill Bender was talking about in the first hour, where he goes, yeah, you may just out talent him, but you'll never out scheme him, right? And so
I mean, this guy went IUP to Elon. We gonna act like that didn't happen before James Madison?
Yeah.
I think he was at Elon, 1 year? Was that 18?
It was quick. It was quick at Elon.
And sometimes it can be painful.
I think it was 17 or 18.
And so
anyway, carry on.
I guess my point is maybe because me and everybody else has been trying to put our finger on what is the magic sauce, right?
It's all like what he just said is the magic sauce.
Google me.
It is. But where I get fascinated is the areas where that trickles down to, right? Because I genuinely think he's a better talent evaluator.
He has to be an elite level talent evaluator.
But
he doesn't miss.
You know how that gets easier? When you know what your non-negotiables are.
Hey, man.
Right? So that's why that part fascinates me.
Yeah.
Because
he starts with the non-negotiable. Whether it's recruiting, who he brings over.
Yeah, coaching staff, whatever, right? But I think it's interesting when you sit there and you go, okay, I think a lot of people are like, oh, he's just an elite talent evaluator. It's like, yeah, but why? It's not like anybody's trying to miss, right? Yeah. Like, what does he see that no one else sees? And I go back to, I almost said something like this. I'm not going to give myself too much credit. But I went back a long time ago where I would say identity and fit make you a good talent evaluator. When you are stone cold locked in your identity, you know what's a good fit. That makes you a good talent evaluator. That I was talking about football things. I think he extends that to personality, temperament, competitiveness, and, of course, the football things as well.
And, again, I'm not going to harp on the Creighton thing, but I told you my number one takeaway. Why I wanted to get close to Mac is when we had him on in my former life, first year transitioning to the Big East.
2 years at Elon, by the way.
I said, he said, well, we're still going to have some non-negotiables. I just need a little bit to see some of the dynamics of what I'm recruiting against in the Big East. You know, length, athleticism, things of that nature. He said, but I have a few non-negotiables.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I'm in love. It sounds dumb.
No, I get what you mean, though. I get what you mean.
Because it can come across as rigid. But when they're the right non-negotiables, that's what you look for. And if that player doesn't have it, he cannot be there.
Yes. Doesn't matter how talented he is.
And
that's the thing that we don't like to say. Because the other half of that sentence is, it doesn't matter how talented he is, right? Yeah. Like that's what it means. And it gets really, really easy to cut the guys who don't meet the not cut, but get rid of the guys that meet.
So I do think what the turnaround is a unicorn. I'm not so sure the methodology is.
That's fair.
I hear a lot of other things and other coaches that have true non-negotiables.
Mm-hmm. Now, he might just be a little bit better at it than a lot of guys, right? Yeah. But I would say, and it's no coincidence that he coached under him. I would say Saban was like that.
100%.
Saban's clearly had non-negotiables.
Yeah.
There were a lot of really talented guys that just didn't make the cut with Saban.
He just couldn't be here.
Couldn't hack it.
Remember when we had Barrett when he won the Outland?
Oh, yeah.
From Bama, the center?
Yeah.
He said Nick Saban's greatest talent as a coach was deprogramming high-end guys. I will never, ever, ever forget when Barrett Jones said that. He said his greatest gift that you cannot see is deprogramming high-end guys.
You know who that makes me think about?
Who?
Derrick Henry.
Oh, with the pass pro and all that? Yeah.
Is Derrick Henry was probably not what Alabama thought coming into. Physically.
I don't know. He just surpassed his high school output in yardage in the NFL.
No, I mean, physically, yes. But in terms of where he was at, in terms of probably football IQ and what he had actually learned about the game, probably not where they thought he was at coming into Alabama.
Yeah.
And so, and I'll give Derrick Henry credit for being able to say out loud, hey, give me a minute. I never learned any of this. But you also have to give Nick Saban some credit. It'd be because it'd be really easy to just say, hey, well, this worked at high school. You're a physical freak of nature. It'll probably just work here. And it probably would have.
Yeah. It's
right. You probably didn't need Derrick Henry to pass pro, and it would have been fine.
It was, I was at a practice before the bowl game, and I was just bumping around. I was with Foreman, actually, and we were just talking about elevating and standards and stuff like that. And we just were every room, every organization just needs non-negotiables. They need to be they need to be the points of emphasis every day.
Mm-hmm.
If you have non-negotiables and they're the point of emphasis every day, it doesn't matter if you're in helmets, half rack, full gear,
mm-hmm.
if it's offense, defense, special team, it doesn't matter. It will look a certain way.
Yeah.
It just will. So, this isn't some. It's the simple versus easy thing.
Yeah,
sounds simple to say, not always easy to execute. So, but I think it's paramount for this team.
Are you
paramount
confident that Coach Rhule has his non-negotiables?
I think that's what he's attacking in the offseason.
Okay.
Where are we? Let me look at the processes. How demanding is it? Is it not? When I say we need to do hard things, what are those? What are the ones that we got to have in place? Where do we need to? I mean, obviously, listen, if you know you haven't been as physical as you wanted to be at the point of attack defensively,
mm-hmm.
you have to address that. Does it start with how we practice? Does it start with the guys we recruit? Does it start with the coaches? Maybe it's all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you attack that, right? If you don't I don't know. Tackling's too easy, so I won't get into that because tackling actually starts with what some of the non-negotiables
mm-hmm.
are, right? If finishing reps and finishing drills is a non-negotiable, you'll tackle better.
Sure.
You just will.
Sure.
Right? So that's a byproduct.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say
it's a symptom. It's not the disease.
Yeah. So let's say he said he's looking at nutrition, strength and conditioning, and how they practice. If you don't like how the tail ends of seasons have went,
mm-hmm.
what are you doing that's the same that could lead to those?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something like, well, we didn't get enough rest, we've had too much rest, rest compared to the toughness of the schedule? Did we need to put in rigor early
mm-hmm.
to condition our bodies for whatever that is? I think he's got to be willing to take a look at.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way how you can stop repeating it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
Because clearly you haven't finished the way that you want it.
Well.
And it's not just because of who's on the schedule.
Right, because it's been 3 different schedules.
Yeah.
It's been 3 different quarterbacks.
So you gotta take a look at the process.
So when you look at I'm fascinated by this because I do. Do you think there have been times where he's looked at. Let me ask it this way, because you have an actually really good perspective on this at the high school level too. Is a lot of people want to come to Westside, fair?
Yeah.
You do not take everyone.
Clearly.
Correct, right? So
they wind up at other schools.
Usually not a talent issue. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we got beat by one of the guys.
No, I know.
Yeah, it's not a talent thing.
So it's not when you say, hey, probably not the right fit, usually not a talent issue, right?
Correct.
So in that position, how hard is it to look at a guy that you know is super talented and have the confidence that you have in yourself and your coaching staff to be like, we can probably get this out of him, but you know deep down he doesn't hit some of our non-negotiables. What's that internal battle like?
So far, if it's a 1-year guy, we're passing.
So no 1-year guys at all?
Just can't see it happening.
Okay.
Because it's just too much. It's a lot.
Because you kind of want to deprogram them, right?
It's
if we're being honest, like that's part of it.
So before I told you we had the retreat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Scrapped we're just redoing it.
Yeah.
You know, cultural meeting June 7th, leadership meeting June 9th, you know, player orientation June 4th. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? 3 days a week, you're coming in, 4 days a week, you're coming into school before it starts.
Mm-hmm. There's off season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
at high school.
Yeah, you need 90% attendance if you're not playing another. Like it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And those are non-negotiables.
Yeah, it's demanding.
Yeah. So like you know, it is what it is, and there are other schools that do it. I'm just saying like that's part of it. And you know, our administration went the other way the last 2 years in terms of open enrollment just because they wanted to stay out of the fray.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we just said no. I mean, we had meetings on what not to say to kids that wanted to come to school. Like, we went out of our way to not take kids that wanted to come. So, some of that we got to own, right? We had to change a little bit too. And I get it, right, with federal dollars and open enrollment. And most people don't, but I understand.
Yeah.
Because I've been on the receiving end where everybody was leaving your attendance area.
Yeah.
Right? So, it's weird to
I think people forget that you worked for a school district for a long time.
Yeah. And I had lots and lots and lots and lots of questions on attendance in our area and how you do student assignments.
Mm-hmm.
Like to me, it seemed backwards.
Yeah.
But when you have educational strings attached and you're trying to promote DSEG, there are things you have to do.
Sure.
So
there are non-negotiables in that as well.
Yeah, unfortunately. But
so
it is what it is.
So let's rewind it a little bit then, because let's talk about, because you guys are, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys are a little bit more open when it's going into freshman year in terms of
coming in as a ninth grader, anybody. I mean,
right.
It is what it is.
When you're looking at those types of kids, how hard is it when a kid's like, hey, I'm thinking about coming to Westside?
So if you're coming from out of the attendance area, like that's why we do 2 open houses.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, this is what it is.
Yeah.
This is this is the schedule. This is what it looks like. This is the roadmap.
So how many kids weed themselves out?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm sure it can be daunting.
Okay.
But I don't know who's like once in and then they're not.
Because we get this from Coach Rhule talked about, hey, I'd rather you come to a practice midweek than a game, right? Because he wants you to know what it's like.
Yeah, same as Mac. Same
right?
as like
yeah, the games are fun. You can make a game experience feel fun almost anywhere, right? Like the experience, you have to be really bad at it if you can't make a game experience seem fun. So I do think there is, like, I always liked that about Mac or Rhule or whoever, to be like, hey, come see what real life is like. And then our retention is going to be better because if you decide to come here, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah, it's just why they don't have a ton of guys hit the portal.
Yeah. That's why, yeah. I mean, look at what was our number? 3.5 starters?
Yep.
We're not there yet.
No.
Because we said not even including Dylan. We're not even at 3.5 including Dylan at this point. And that's if you would include Hartzog, who didn't play this year.
Yeah. Which I told you. I said that in the offseason. Or once he got hurt, I'm like, do you come back?
Yeah. I think people assumed. I assumed, but
do you want a fresh start? Like, I just thought that was always on the table for him.
Sure.
Especially when he wasn't traveling.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, that gave me pause.
At a certain point.
I mean, because Teddy goes everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And Teddy's been through it.
Everywhere.
Got to appreciate that about him.
I love him.
Regardless of what his future looks like.
Might be my fave. That includes Caleb.
Let's get to Michigan Lance. He's got some thoughts as well. Lance, what's going on, buddy? There we go.
Michigan Lance.
Lance, what's going on, man?
Hey, good morning, boys. Happy New Year.
How goes it, my man?
Hey, you guys. Hey, DB, you and your guy. Is it Padilla? Is that his name?
Jacob
do
Padilla.
high school with?
Yeah.
How you say his last name? I'm sorry.
Padilla.
Padilla. I'm sorry. Yeah. What was I speaking? Italian and Spanish or something?
A little Spanish. That's all right.
They're very close. They're very close in words.
Hey, you guys doing a high school portal show or what?
I was trying to.
No.
We're not
going to do that?
Listen,
I was trying to make
I can't
some.
believe what's going on. I say that every year. This is at an all-time high.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah, and yeah, it's been ramping up every year as we go along, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently you caught word of your alma mater.
Yes. Yes.
What happened? What happened?
Because
I don't know.
Well, on air, I don't know either.
Oh. Wow.
Well, you're the one bringing it up, Lance. What do you got going on, man?
I mean, I came back from the bowl game, and I was like, "What the heck?"
Hey, man, I'm not there. That's not for me to pass. You know, for me, it's a rumor. So I'm not there. I don't know, so I'm not going to pass on rumors on air.
That's professional. That's right.
DB knows I don't do that.
Yeah, that's right. That's 100% adult.
Yeah, one thing I'm going to be is me. You're not going to get me that way.
Yeah.
That's why I say you guys do a show.
Yeah. What's up, buddy?
There's been a lot going on. I've been wanting to call in, but every day it seemed like it's been something going on, and I haven't been able to get to. But it's been something going on with college or NFL. You know what I mean? Like, DB, how were you feeling last night? Did we need jumper cables for you, man?
Yes.
Back and forth there.
Yes.
That was
yes.
that was a great game, man. That was wild.
At one point, and it wasn't because I couldn't see, even though I do need a new television, man. I'm getting those bright lights in the corner, so I think my bulb is going. But
yeah.
Listen, I was about 2 inches away from my TV standing, as though it was going to yield a better result.
You know how it is.
Yeah, that's old school.
Hey, listen, my guy, Coach Tomlin, is talking to you. Hang on. One more time, Shane.
You know how it is. If my aunt had male parts, she'd be my uncle.
That's my.
What? Who's that?
They asked Tomlin about if he would have made the kick.
Oh, and what did he say? He said, play that again?
Go ahead, Shane.
You know how it is. If my aunt had male parts, she'd be my uncle.
Right. Oh, he was on one last night.
All right.
My man he was back to blowing kisses at the camera.
Hey, you know what would have been even better? If he would have did that reference that everybody's, hey, yeah, we went 9-8, yeah, baby. If he did something like that, have you seen that little memes and cartoons about that?
My favorite is Jay Foreman. He'll go, if ifs were fifths, we'd all be drunks.
Yes, man. That Tomlin, hey man, if he's the king of 500 and over 500, hey, it is what it is. He keep making the playoffs. I'm a Tomlin guy.
Just win. Can I get a win?
Right. Exactly. Hey, my Bears in there. It's been a great season for me. My Bears are up in there, so I'm feeling good about that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
How you, you know, it's funny about the NFC North. We all thought it was going to be this gauntlet, and it kind of did turn out to be the only division in football that everyone's above 500 and everyone has a positive point differential on the season. But I don't think anybody had the high-end year we thought maybe. I felt like somebody might have like a 12, 13, maybe even 14 win year. They were all everybody between 9 wins and 11 wins, I believe.
Yep. No, man. I knew that was going to be. Well, I thought it was going to be them alone as the best conference, and then the AFC West and the NFC West came back, and it's like, oh man. But and man, you guys are getting on my guy. You guys are hating on number 9. Number 9 just wins, baby. Don't be hating on 9. Nina Ross.
Wait a minute. What 9?
You know, the only 9 there is in purple. All right. JJ.
I like JJ.
McCarthy. Now, I heard you guys talk about that. Well, talking about it one time. It is funny.
So he gets they get on me about McCarthy because I said he was going to be good. So then I said, you know, I may have to transition and start calling him JJ McSucky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I liked McCarthy.
Yes, he had a winning record this year. So that was your.
I forgot you're doing the whole Michigan honk thing. I keep thinking Bears. I'm like,
yeah,
your boy wears 13. That's why he's
9 for the Bears.
Huh?
I was thinking.
We thought
Bears.
you were talking about the Bears for a second. We forgot.
Like,
no. Yeah, no.
Speaking of Michigan, how do you like your new guy Whittingham?
Hey, I'm all in. I'm good on that one. I'll take that.
Yeah,
that was a good hire, and it sounds like he was hired like December 1st or in November. So hey, I'll really take it. Like if they had a plan and that's what this was, hey man, I'm about that life. And DB, we've been texting like, hey man, I wasn't all in on Sharoni. Tenderoni. I wasn't all in on him.
Wow.
And now
that's true. You did give him a lot. You're like, okay, now you did. I don't like this. I kind of like this. I'll give it another. That's you. Yeah, you were pretty reluctant.
Come on, man. I'm a realist here now. I see what's going on, and you know what? Hey, if he needed to be a pass the baton guy, because we really didn't have somebody else we wanted, and it's like, all right, let's kind of get through this, and it seemed like Michigan. It seemed like this was the plan all along. Right. Like everybody's like, hey, they knew, and then they just waited to pull that trigger when everybody was on board with it. Oh, he lost to Ohio State. All right, we're done. Let's go. And everybody said, yeah, let's do it. And then hey, here's the reason why. And so, no, man, I didn't know. I thought we were gonna get DeBoer, and I think we would have got DeBoer if they would have lost the first game. But since they didn't, well, that kind of – I think that's what happened. I don't know for sure, but I think that's what kind of happened because the transfer portal was just coming too close. It's like, well, if he keeps winning, what are we going to do? And so I'm glad,
Can I ask you about your quarterback? How are we feeling about Bryce? You like Bryce more than Caleb, college to pro, or what are we doing here?
Yes, I'm all in on Bryce. Bryce, and we got what he needed. A coach, a good offensive.
Dude, Jason Beck with him is horrifying. I am not excited.
Who, you don't like the OC?
No, I think it's horrifying for the rest of us.
Oh, okay. I was like, hold on, what?
No, he was incredible with Dampier. He was incredible with Dampier, and Underwood is more talented than Dampier. Like that is.
I don't know
exactly. Well, here's the thing, DB.
You think?
I love.
Is he tougher?
Go ahead.
I don't know if he's tougher. I say he's more talented. I don't know if he's tougher.
Man, you guys.
I mean, he's a quarterback, DB. How many tough people are there at quarterback?
Eric Crouch is one. Eric Crouch is one.
No, North guy. People forget.
Is he?
Real tough.
Oh yeah.
Really? We want to go down that rabbit hole?
Yeah.
In college, are we talking about
tough?
What?
Tough.
All right, man. All right.
Look,
I guess if you can come back,
slap.
Yes.
You talking about the quarterback competition? Like he's 19. You go through decision making.
So now you want to use that?
Don't mean he ain't tough. You said brains don't stop developing before you're 22. Be consistent.
Okay.
Be consistent.
I am consistent. You don't call it, man.
Listen,
you don't call it tough because you like him and know what we talk.
No, he's tough because he got hammered for 4 years and got up every time.
We're not gonna say that for Bryce.
We don't know yet.
Him develop in?
We don't know yet.
Can I rewind? I'm gonna go slow.
All right.
I don't know about Bryce. I do know
Really?
Dampier is tough. When you run that quarterback run offense, you better be tough. That's what I said.
Okay. So here let me counter that. Is he No, I don't believe he's that type of runner like that, but I think he's a good enough runner. He'll be tough enough. Is he going to be the toughest? No, I don't think he's going to be tough. Is he going to be – but I think he's going to be tough enough to do it.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing too, though.
So I'm okay saying I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
But here's my other thing, though. Do you have to do that when a guy, his arm talent is better? Like,
so
it doesn't have to be
if that's
40-60 run.
I don't know how Beck
80-20 run.
I don't know how Beck
what I mean?
wants to play with this personnel grouping. I just know
That's
how
he
Beck
has
played. So I'm not saying he's incapable of changing, but I mean Michigan's going to have to do some things that they're not going to do if they're going to be 60-40 the other way. You better go get some guys to throw the ball to for once.
Oh, most definitely. Now we definitely, I don't know if I said that on air, but we definitely have been cheap when it comes to wide receivers.
Yeah.
We definitely need to spend some money on wide receivers. Now, we got a good young group, but yeah, we don't have anybody that blow the roof off. Yeah, we definitely are cheap on that end, which I'm hoping when you got better talented players on what you do, if you can coach up, develop. Now, they weren't garbage at Utah. Now, I'm not saying, of course, they had good talent, but they want this talent that he has and can possibly get at Michigan. You know what I mean? And so Bryce doesn't have to beat Eric Crouch 30 times a game. He just needs to give us 5 to 8, 8 to 10 good carries. That's it.
Yeah.
And because the way he throws the ball so well, you don't need to be, but he does need to run it too, but you don't need to be
and the formations, the shifts, the eye candy. I mean, as long as he can keep it 11 on 11, he'll be fine. He's a good OC.
And remember, guys, this football is not the football we played or grew up watching and all that anymore. Like, ain't nobody banging like that. It's a couple people, but that's not the majority. It's not like you guys played, like when you played Missouri, DB, wasn't Missouri a tough game?
Yeah.
Yeah, like playing Kentucky that's not a tough game. Like, or somebody like no. Playing Northwestern, y'all make it more tough than what it is. Let's stop with that. They ain't out here knocking people socks off or nothing. We need to stop with this. Or is this person gonna be? Man, nothing's tough anymore. Look at the league. Look at the NFL. Like, this ain't that. So, hey man, but I get what you're saying. But I don't want to compare toughness to a different era because it's completely different. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna do that to a guy. He's good enough. It's about to go down, man. It's about to get scary. Now, how about Penn State, coach? Like, Penn State, here's my thing with Penn State and Campbell. I like Campbell at Iowa State. I think he's great for Iowa State. But Penn State said we want to win national championships and get rid of the guy that had a lot of success with them. I don't think Matt Campbell, right? I don't think he's going to do better than the last guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Lance, I don't even know if he can do.
The expectation level did definitely changed overnight.
Here's the thing.
Come on now.
Like,
go ahead.
Clearly, that wasn't their first 10 options, right? Like, they got left with who they got left with. So I agree with you that they set the expectation of, hey, it's national championship or bust because they were in the semifinal last year and won 13 games. And they said, not good enough. You're fired after a couple bad weeks, James Franklin. And then they went to everybody and their mother and kind of had Matt Campbell fall in their lap, which is a good hire for them because –
how you know people's moms?
Well, I know everybody. It's all good.
Hold on. Okay, go ahead. Why is it a good hire for them? Tell me that.
I think it's a good hire for them because Penn State's a harder job than people give it credit for.
No, Penn State the one that said it. National championship or bust.
Listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. Their own perception of their job got them into this situation. The rest of the nation's perception of this job got them Matt Campbell, which is low-key a good hire for them because this is a harder job than they apparently think it is.
It's a hard
Right.
The expectations are probably shouldn't be as high as they were for James Franklin. James Franklin was the victim of his own success.
Right.
That was the
Right.
situation. This is what one of the smartest things I've ever heard a coach say was Buzz Williams. He's the Maryland coach now. He leaves the school after about 5 to 7 years because that's about the time frame where they stop measuring you against what you inherited and start measuring you against the best you've done there. And once you're in that spot, you can be in a lot of trouble. Because James Franklin wasn't getting credit for, hey, this was a dumpster fire when I inherited it.
Yes.
He was getting killed for not winning a national championship and not being Ohio State. So once you get to that point, that's where things get really wonky in terms of expectation and perception. And you have to, in my opinion, make a mistake like firing James Franklin, which I do think was a mistake because I think he's going to kill it at Virginia Tech, where you have to make that mistake in order to reset those expectations and say, oh, maybe that's not what we thought it was. Or you do the thing that unfortunately Nebraska did 25 years ago, and you end up in a situation where you go, oh, well, this doesn't meet our expectations of one of the greatest runs in college football history. We're going to fire this guy. And then you say, oh, that doesn't meet our expectations, so we're going to fire this guy. And then you forget what Bo Pelini inherited and what he turned into and say, oh, we're going to fire that guy. So you get into either you course correct and say, maybe we need to figure this out, or you keep repeating the same mistake. We'll see what Penn State does, because I agree with you. I don't think Matt Campbell probably wins the national championship at Penn State.
I got a question, though, while we're at it, because so is the standard for Michigan to win national championships because they've won one in the last 60 years?
I think it's to compete and be in the playoff and be in the hunt for national team. Yes.
It's to consistently be in the playoff,
every
right?
year, not every year. But
I'm just curious because that's an interesting fan base.
It is an interesting. I agree. I think
because you went a long time without a natty.
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely. But look what happened. Like you guys now remember now, like it's same thing with the administrations and you know, hey, let's try to bring Dave Brandon in. He's the Domino's guy and he got money and let's have him run the show. Like all that stuff matters and happens too. You know what I mean? So that's what happened. But they tried it a certain way that didn't work. And it's like, what are you doing here? And you know, go ahead.
Lance, let me ask you this. So if Michigan makes the college football playoff 2 out of every 4 years, happy or no?
Does it go to
give me
16?
3 out of get
currently at 12?
Let's say currently
at 12. At 12.
Let's say currently at 12.
2 out of every other year.
I'll say 3 out of 4. I'll say it should be. Look, we almost made it this year. We were with this clown.
3 out of 5.
Clown that we had.
What about
this clown that we had?
What about 3 out of 5?
We were 1 game away. Do you understand what I'm like? They were 1 game away. All they had to do is if they beat Ohio State, they're in the playoffs. Like, and he was a clown. So you telling me with a good coach, a really good coach, we can't do 3 out of 4?
So let me ask you.
Like, come on, man.
Let me ask. 3 out of 4 seems a little aggressive. Would you give me 3 out of 5?
How is it little? Okay,
would you give me 3 out of 5? 3 out of every 5 years you make the college football playoff. Happy or no?
All right, yeah, that's fine. I'm good with that, but it should still be like. Let's put it like this.
Okay.
Because let's do it with the coach that you have.
I'm just gonna say my favorite since 2009 or however long we've been going is how you say clown. You make it seem like it's more than 1 syllable. It's my favorite.
Like,
wait, that's
what are we
the
talking
ultimate
about
cut
here?
down for you. Oh, this clown.
Yes. Yeah. Like
how
we're sitting here like that doesn't make sense. If somebody like him can be on the verge, right? Like
you forgot, Biff Poggi got like half his wins for him. So.
Hey, again, it doesn't matter. I'm with that too.
And Michigan was undefeated in head coaching replacements. Like, okay.
Right.
So 3 out of every
You know
5
what I mean?
years.
Let's say
Whittingham's there for 5 years because he's 66. He's probably not there for a ton longer than that.
Yeah.
If
I say 5. Yeah, 3 out of 5, most definitely.
If they
cool.
make
I'm cool with
3 college football playoffs in his 5 years, you're cool.
Yeah.
If they make 2, it's disappointing. Is that the line?
Yeah, I would say that, especially with especially with Bryce. Like
for the next couple,
Bryce is a quarterback that should guarantee you 2. Like, and then
so if he doesn't make it the next 2
get
years,
the
you're upset.
Like you said, like I'll give it 2 out of 3, and then maybe I believe with Bryce and this guy, they can get to 3. Most definitely can get to 3.
Well, Bryce is that dude. He's not going to be here 3 more years. If you're telling me Bryce is who you think he is, that you get 2 years of Bryce and we're done.
But you know what though? With that, I'm with was it Peyton Manning? I don't know who it was that started I think I want to say Peyton Manning maybe, or I don't know. Somebody was like, or maybe it was Troy Aikman, was like, "Hey man, quarterbacks need to play games." And quarterback isn't a 3 and out type of.
He was talking
deal.
about Arch.
I mean, it is if you're starting.
No. This was before Arch. No. This was. I'm talking about years ago.
I still think it was Peyton.
Yeah, and I'm talking about a long time ago. Like, you need to play college football as a quarterback.
I mean, you want to go way back. You're talking about
3.
Bill Parcells. That's who, like, that was part of his quarterback rules.
Yeah,
when he drafted, like 30 minimum starts or whatever his number was.
But I mean, that's proven with.
What we're talking about here is if we're talking about Underwood, he will have started 3 full years. That's 36 starts. Like, that's enough.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And I'm good. Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah.
That's different.
I can see that. Yeah, exactly. And I can see that.
It's not Arch where he starts 13 games and you're like, all right, let's do it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that or remember the guy that just came from Florida a couple years ago.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, and you know what? How about let's not even go there because he played very minimal, 13 games, I think he was for real. But like Mike Vick should have had another year of college quarterbacking. Like, he did 2 years. He was
he had like 24, 25 starts, something like that.
You know what I mean? No, for somebody like him, yeah, you needed more. Well, anybody, like you said, he didn't hit the 30 mark. So he needed another season, and then that will probably have changed his maturity level.
You know what? You know what would have changed his direction is if he got drafted by Andy Reid. Like that's what would have changed his career.
Well,
like let's be honest.
I guess
you know what I mean?
That's like a lot of people, right?
That's what I mean, though. Like, I mean, you get like it's like where you get drafted matters a ton in that situation, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm not gonna split hairs between 24 and 30 starts. Like, if you get like 2 full years of starting, I think is a bare minimum. I think that's fair.
I don't know, man.
Dude, most of these guys are getting drafted on less than that, man.
Yeah, like your boy Lagway. Nah, I'm just
hey, you know that's funny. Hey, thank you, Ravi, for
being a hater.
For being the only person in the country to accurately evaluate DJ Lagway. I'm gonna put that in my Twitter bio. Only person in the country to accurately evaluate DJ Lagway.
Now remember, it's not over for him. It's not over him.
I only evaluated this year. I evaluated this year. I said, that's not it this year.
Yes, okay. All right. This year, I got you. But when you said, like, hey, I talked about Lagway, I got to talk about Rhule, like, hey, man, yeah, you got to own up to stuff that you say about other people. Like, let's try to be equal across the board here. DB, no, that's a big pet peeve of mine. Like, don't say one thing about somebody else, and then when it happens in your own home, it's like, what happened? I don't know. Nah, man. No, your boy, hey, y'all thought Rhule was a guy. He was this, he was that, and all that. And now look, I mean,
he still performed better than Lagway.
I have one question before we let you go because we got to close out the show. What are the people with their face painted that perform at circuses? What are they called again?
I don't know if I can say it on the spot. You got to get me in the meat of the moment when I'm actually talking about these clowns. I don't know if I can. Hey, man, DB. That's why DB got silent. He was cracking up. Hey, because you know how serious I am.
I know. When you start dropping that, it's like,
yeah, that's exactly what they are. And these tomfoolery out here. Like, we almost made the playoffs with that. I mean, come on, man. You talk about an idiot. How dumb do you have to be to use a service like Uber Eats or DoorDash for that? Dog, what? Oh, man, hey, I'm being secret, guys. Look at me. Nobody's going to know. You have to register. You got to use your credit card or debit card or cash card, you idiot. Oh, they don't know it's me. How they not going to know it's you? You're the one that bought it. Man, playing. Dog, you dumb. Hey, man, they need to make plan D for him. He's a clown or plan C for clown.
Oh, Lord. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later. Love you, bud.
Love you too, bro.
Way to start the year off with a
Jeez.
Michigan Lance heater.
We could only get him once a month. My blood pressure raises.
I was gonna say, can't handle it. Can't handle all the clowns.
It's how Shane says Kugler. Kevin Kugler. I'm like, who?
Sharon Clowner.
He's a clown. I was like, what?
Well, you gotta start with the hard C. And then somehow Lao turns into a couple syllables, and then
Nebraska, Ohio State tonight.
Nebraska, Ohio State.
What you got?
Give me Nebraska. You're feeling some kind of way about it.
I'll take the 3. They'll cover.
Ken Pom has 1 point game towards Ohio State.
Ohio State wins a buzzer beater.
I think Nebraska goes 15-0. I think the first loss comes Saturday at Indiana.
Let's go. I hope you're right.
There you go. That is the show for today. We'll be back. We made it, DB. First show back. Way to go. Nailed it. We'll be back tomorrow. That's DB. I'm Ravi. It's Shane. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.